All right, we're recording. Ed. So here we are. What are we here to do? We are here. Let me just do the quick intro. This is take two because Eddie had all sorts of trouble getting his dodgy copy of Bohemian Rhapsody to load up.
Always tough, dodgies.
But we're ready to rock now. We're recording. This is a dickhead who knows nothing about Queen. This is not that dickhead. That's this dickhead. I know nothing, right? I'm a wannabe. Eddie introduced me to Queen when we were in grade 9 or something. I'm a phone-it-in, Johnny-come-lately fan. So grade 9 for us would have been 1985, something. Yep.
Six.
So
I was after Live Aid.
Yeah, so I was a Johnny-come-lately. So I'm way more leaning towards all the bits of Queen that we didn't see in the great Bohemian Rhapsody. So I thought rather than me just do one of these stupid commentary tracks, I'd bring in a Queen expert who is absolutely able to tell us everything we need to know about the movie. So what we're going to do here tonight,
no pressure. It's just no pressure. It's all good.
Well, there can't be, it seems, because Ed, how many drinks did I tell you that you should have prior to pushing record here?
2 drinks. Only 2 drinks.
And how big were your drinks?
1 stubby and 1 bottle of wine. 19 crimes, go.
So we were, because I know if Eddie had gone a bit further, we'd have been in trouble. But this is inspired by kind of Kevin Smith in that I saw Kevin Smith do an informal, unasked for commentary track, and I've just spilt water already on my computer.
Don't worry about it, mate. You'll be right. The Queen vid. You know, we're queening it up here, mate. You can clean it up later.
God, I hope it doesn't ruin anything because there was ice that dropped on the keyboard. So you tell them what we're doing. No, I'll just say Kevin Smith inspired. He did a voice commentary for Batman. Now, Kevin Smith isn't in Batman. Kevin Smith isn't got anything to do with Batman. He just likes it. So he did a voiceover. He did a commentary track, an unasked for, unofficial commentary track. So inspired by that, I thought we would do the same thing. But overall, Ed, before we get into doing that, your overall...
Look how prepared you are with like your little bags there of ice.
Well, because I didn't have... Well, that's how unprepared I am. I didn't have any... I had like 3 pieces of real ice. So I had to get these things.
Yeah.
My
beers are just in a dish. They're just in a dish. They're grouping.
They're going to be hot.
They're grouping together to keep cool.
By the release,
I've got the aircon cranked because it's 35 degrees outside.
So by the release of the Hot Space album, your beers are going to be hot brews. I can promise you that. All right. So, but your overall take on the film before we get into the nitty gritty, push play. What we're going to do is we're going to give you guys a sync point where you're going to sync your copy of Bohemian Rhapsody. We're going to sync ours. And we're going to all watch it together, and you can listen to us ramble on a little bit. So make sure you've watched it before, huh? Because
spoilers.
Do not watch this for the first time with us idiots.
That's right.
Do not. I just watched it the other night on the big, giant screen by myself. No distractions, no partners. It was just me and the movie, and I was quite moved, blown away. But your take overall, Ed, before we get to the nitty gritty.
Oh, fantastic. Just overall, not accurate, not 100% accurate at all. It's a story to be told. You know, there's 2.25 hours to fit everything that they tried to cram into those 2.25 hours to tell a story that spans, 15 odd years of such, mind-blowing musical talent, cramming that in to tell as much as they could of it. So there's timelines that are out, there's songs that are here that shouldn't be there, and but they're telling the story. In the end, we know what it's all about, and we shed the tear and say, well, wow, how good is this? How good is this guy? How good is this band? And that's what it's all about. And I think that's what we come out of it thinking.
And as we
nitpicking the little bits.
We're going to nitpick the little bits for 2 hours, I'm sure, because I'm interested in the bits. Because I knew even a phone-it-in fan knew some of the bits were inaccurate from the stuff that I'd seen. But what I would ask is, what's your take though? Because we are going to. Because I'm interested in those nitpicky bits, but I'd love to get your take on the because we're going to discuss the movie for what it is, not for what it maybe was going to be. So I was actually really interested when I first heard that Borat, what's his name, Sacha Baron Cohen, was going to be doing it and worked on it for a long time. There's a lot of footage with him already filmed in the camp.
And he looked great too.
And yeah, well, when I first heard that, I thought, Borat? Really? But he looks like him visually.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think he could have done as good a job as the guy who did it?
Oh, I think he probably could have. I think he's a decent enough actor. You know, he doesn't do a lot of broad spectrum acting. He's sort of pretty
well, not until I saw
genre.
But not until I saw an interview with him on Howard Stern, where I thought, wow, if you can be that different just as a human to the characters I've seen you play, you'd have nailed it. Like, because he, to me, must be some
easily,
character.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. But from what I heard, when they cancelled it, it was around creative differences around how the band wanted to portray the story compared to how others, whether it be producers or the writers of the script or whatever, had the direction that they wanted to go. I also heard that those ones. Yeah, sorry.
That's how they ended up going. Like,
but I also heard that what they wanted to do was that the band wanted to go on and tell the story after Freddie died.
Yeah. And so Freddie dying halfway in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was pissed about that and left. Well, ended up being exactly what he wanted from the sounds of it, so he should have stayed.
Well, this movie is all about Freddie and the band.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if the creative differences, from what I understand from the Howard Stern interview, he was pissed that Freddie dies halfway through, then it goes on to how Queen continues on, and that's why he left, because he wanted to tell the story from the way I see it, exactly the way it ended up.
The way it is now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he left that script. Yeah, then they come up with a new one.
Well, they said, that's it. Maybe that dickhead, when he left, he goes, but when he left, they go, you know what? Maybe Borat was right. Let's do it his way. Oh, but he's gone. Oh, well, let's find someone else. But
they said that fucking Borat. Well, hang on. Let's do it our way.
Maybe Bruno had a point. But I tell you what, with all that said, there were moments of that when he was non-mustache Freddie, it was good. When he was mustache Freddie,
it was
fuck.
Absolutely.
I could not believe some of the imagery on that big screen. Anyway, we'll get to that. The recreation of Wembley and all that. We'll get to it. But let's try and sync this bad boy up. Just before we get onto the movie, and we're going to push play. We're going to sync it all up. We're all going to watch it together. But I just looked at the grosses. I just looked them up, Ed, because we were talking about that. And this is days after it's been released here in Australia. I didn't realise it hadn't been released in the USA. So it hasn't drawn a dime in the USA yet. It's done 12 million here, which is really all it's been released in Australia. I've been going to the movies lately to see all the Marvel movies and the Supermans and the Batmans and all these movies, right? And cinemas just aren't as frequented as much. There's so many screens. There's so many screenings. You can basically, in any movie, no matter how new a release, you can sit where you want because the theaters are essentially empty. Man, I was there on when did I go? Thursday night? I don't even know. When did I tell you about this? Yeah, Thursday night. Thursday night. So I don't know if Thursday night was opening night, but I know it was on a week before in Coffs Harbour. So it's been on for the better part of a week here. Maybe Thursday night was official opening night, but there was nowhere to sit. Like, it was, because I was by myself, I could find a good seat because I was a one. But it was the fullest theatre I have seen, and I've been seeing them all, the Infinity Wars and everything. It was chockers. This movie's going to make all the money. It is going to do.
We'll take out the Star Wars. Star Wars is the only thing that I've seen for ages that it's ever been packed.
Was it packed? Okay, because I went to see a few of these bloody Star Warsy things.
Yeah, well, I went to a couple of them on the midnight screenings and all that sort of stuff, which obviously...
Yeah, me and Naomi went to one of them for episode 7, and it was full, but this one was full.
You go to the Bunbury 8 or something down in outback Western Australia.
No, for that one, we went to the George Street in Sydney for the Star Wars one. But I take your point, but boy, oh boy, I'm interested to see how this one does in the USA, I suppose, because that's where all the money's made, in the USA.
Well, that's right.
All right, let's see if we can...
And it's the interesting thing is Queen haven't always been at the peak of their game in
the USA. Yeah,
well,
correct.
Accepted as well as everywhere else in the world.
And actually, it's a good point because in Australia, it's always been like their second. They've been very well accepted chart-wise.
Yeah. Europe
the one
and Australia,
tour they did, well accepted. Yeah. All right,
much so.
Let's do it. Let's see if we can sync it up. So what we've got to do, folks, the unfortunate thing is this dodgy copy that Eddie got us doesn't have the first thing that I wanted to comment on. How good was the but it was Queen that was playing it.
Yeah.
That was Queen. If that wasn't Queen, that was the best Queen sound.
I would probably wasn't Queen.
I'd put this stubborb on. That was Queen. This stubby on that was Queen. All right. So you said probably wasn't. So that is a one stubby bet.
Okay. Lock it in, mate.
Lock it in. We will research that after.
There's a fact weather stubby there.
Yeah, we need a fact checker.
Look, I'm sure someone will let us know.
Yeah, they will. All right. The one person, it'll be Matt Farthing. The one person who ever watches this, it'll be Matt Farthing. So let's find a sync it up moment. As I watch it, and I've got Freddie in this ear and Eddie in this ear, I can see the R logo. So how about we sync it up to the bit where the word Regency appears, and then we'll push play on the count of three. So you tell me when you got that. And to our viewer, get it up, synced up.
Mine's at the very start of where that R's just coming into it.
Now, is Regency some dodgy bootlegger or is Regency the official?
That's a real production company.
So that was after the with Brian May, the official Red Special, playing that magnificent riff.
The one that we retouched.
So we've missed that. Then it would have gone to this Regency bit, is it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm at zero. At zero. Are you at zero?
No, just go to the Regency for our viewer because the viewer isn't going to be watching our dodgy.
Yeah, but the zero is at the Regency. Okay.
Actually, in fact, let's go a little bit further because who knows what Netflix will do to this or whatever. So let's go to the first moment with the hand. Let's sync it up at the hand. Push pause at the hand and then we'll push play, which is the first image on the screen after whatever. Hey, do you remember this? For you watching the video, do you remember this, Ed? Look at the stubby cooler I got.
Oh, yeah.
As a gig me and Eddie played 100 years ago. I was looking through my stubby coolers. And the next one's Call to View Real Estate. I'm going to send Adam a bill for branding and sponsorship. Adam, you owe me a beer. All right. We ready?
Okay. I've just gone off Regency.
Okay. So when it hits the hand, you tell me and I'll push play. You just push play on yours. When it hits the hand, I'll push play.
Now.
Beautiful. All right. So here's the hand. Here's Freddie waking up from a drunken stupor, I'm sure, is it? There he is. Look at that bloodshot eye, Ed. You've been there many a night. You're going to be there tomorrow morning.
At work, yeah. It'll be fun.
Are you working tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one of the things there you see that Freddie's eyes are dark, brown, very brown, dark eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And Rami Malek's aren't.
Oh, the actor.
Yeah, he's actually eyes.
Has he been in anything else?
Oh, not that I know of. Not to say he hasn't.
See, look at you. You've done a good job because you know his name. And
there you go. There's a name.
Oh, yeah. Did you do that in fact-checking preparation for this, or did you just know it?
I'd heard about it. I've obviously watched a few videos since it's been released.
Yeah, I didn't want to say. I was la. I didn't want to say.
There you go. That Marlene Dietrich picture there.
Yeah.
That was inspiration for the Queen 2 album cover, which obviously was the start of the Bohemian Rhapsody video. So that come from a 1932 picture or something, some Shangri-La picture movie at the time. So
see that the great Mike Myers there? Did you see that name? That Mike Myers come up?
Absolutely.
There you go. But I tell you, I'm so glad they started with Wembley because to me, this is, I've said this to you before, but I'll go on record and say, to me, that 20 minutes of music is the finest 20 minutes of music performance in the history of the world by anyone. Beethoven's Ninth Patooey compared to that 20 minutes of performance.
Well, I actually went back and watched it just the other day after watching this and just to see how it's just the end, well, we'll get to it, but it's just that accurate. It's just that great. The little things that just even before it, but we'll get to that, I guess.
And definitely they nailed the performance, which is on public record. I wonder how much of this stuff that no one got to see was accurate. Like, who's this band meant to be coming down the stairs?
Dire Straits played before him.
You reckon?
And later in the movie, you can hear the end of, I think it's Sultans of Swing, the end of Sultans of Swing.
Well, that wasn't trying to be Dire Straits.
To earlier than, yeah.
Right.
So I don't know whether that was Dire Straits, and I didn't really.
Yeah, well, they didn't try to make them look like Dire Straits, you know, because you know what Dire Straits were in this vintage. They were money for nothing headbands and whatever.
Well, maybe
on stage at Live Aid.
Hey, no, that was earlier. That would have been earlier before Money for Nothing.
Okay. Look at that. I mean, just from that perspective, I'd nearly shat when I saw that. And then when they stopped it, I was like, no, show me. All right, so we're back to 1970. This is your vintage now, Ed. I got nothing to add now. I'm screwed. I'm screwed now.
Well, this is all just a lot of the critics have actually panned it. Here we go. A lot of the critics have panned this part, saying that it's just it plays like the Wikipedia page reads. So here's your ad.
Oh, is that an ad? Okay, so what we got to do is we got to resync for the viewers because the dodgy copy Eddie's found us. That of course we're not showing because we got to not breach any copyright laws or whatever. So we're just talking. All you hear is talking. So you guys play your copy. We got to resync with you guys. So, so Freddie's now
at the bus stop.
He's at the bus stop. There you go, right there, bus stop. Back there before. Now he's breathing out and looking at his book.
And what's he writing?
The lyrics to. I can't even read it on this tiny screen.
In anger, liar.
Ah,
writing the lyrics to Liar.
Ah. Nobody believes me, Ed. Telling you. See, that's my early Queen cred out the window now.
See, if only he was writing Great King Rat, then wouldn't that have been the best bit?
Oh, a little bit of trivia there, gang. Eddie, what date is your birthday?
The 21st of May.
Ah, and for
the day Great King Rat died.
Yes, so there you go.
No, he was born on the 21st of May. He died today.
Yeah, that's right. All right. And I wondered if that actor there, the dad, was, I thought, is that Steve Carell? For a minute, I thought it was Steve.
His nose isn't big enough. Although he does have not long enough.
There's a bit of doing all right there. So this is Smile. Now, tell me about the inaccuracies of Smile here, because I understand from memory this is the way it happened.
No, well, this is very truncated. The whole first 15 minutes is very truncated to tell a quick story of the early days.
First look at Brian, though. How good is that Brian dude?
He was awesome. He was awesome. But Smile, they knew Freddie. Tim Staffel and Freddie were friends.
Yeah.
And Tim Staffel introduced Roger and Brian to Freddie. So this sort of has nothing to do with sort of as though Freddie doesn't know him at all.
Yeah.
So it sort of brushes over a little bit of that past. Interesting fact here that Tim Staffel actually did some work with Brian and Roger to do this.
Now, to do this bit?
In the last year to
help get this right.
To do this for the movie.
And what fantastic. Album did Doing All Right appear on? Was it on Queen 1?
On Queen, yeah.
And how different is the Smile version from the Queen version?
A little bit, but not majorly. Same sort of thing. But it sort of doesn't really do it justice. Suddenly they just broke up, and Humpy Bong was the name. Humpy Bong was the name of the band that Tim Staffel went to.
Ah, okay. So he didn't go to some backwater Australia. Some backwater Australia.
At the back in New South Wales somewhere.
Yeah, I got to go.
Band that he went to.
I was worried about the Roger dude there. I thought he doesn't look much like Roger,
The only thing I didn't find with the Roger dude is he didn't wear sunglasses enough. Every time you see Roger with sunglasses on, You never see him with them on.
Now tell me about Mary. Did he meet Mary this night?
I don't know whether he met her at this time.
Okay.
at this night. I think this whole idea is just
an idea to get them all together.
Scenes to get them all together, to get it all happening, and then we can get the band, get them all together and get everything rolling. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether he met her on that day there. No.
And I also wonder about the being totally straight, not knowing, and slowly becoming gay, how accurate that is either,
I think he was gay all along. There's actually, when it comes on in a second, where they get the band together again, and this probably talk will take us up to that point. When they get John Deacon in, John Deacon was actually the fourth bass player that they tried.
Mm.
So,
but they didn't have time to go through. Yeah, you suck. No, you suck. No, you suck. Right. No, you suck.
But two of the bass players. There's a guy on Facebook who I'm a friend with, who's a huge Queen fan in England, and he's like infinitely more Queen fan than I am.
Shit.
And yeah, he's friends on Facebook with two of the three previous bass players, and he's there. They're in a conversation that I'm they're coming up on my feed, and they're talking about he wants to have a Facebook interview with one or two of these blokes.
Right.
And
you should have got him on this.
Well, I should have. But he was saying that I'll tell you anything you want to know. I'll tell you all about the women, all about the men, all about all the people that used to come and spend the time with us.
This bit here, man, I tell you, just breaking up, just fit. This bit here. When they sang together, and just take a moment, shivers. Man, I was there in this theatre by myself going,
yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
As you were, though?
I think that Freddie was gay or bi or whatever you want to call him. He was that all along. So
have you got a bass? I love that. Do you play bass?
Do you play bass? No.
Sorry, darling. Yeah, but I did hear that in some interviews back then, and literally this was when I first began listening to Queen back then, when the rumours of the gay were around, I'm like, no way. No, because I, as a teenager, didn't want to believe that shit, but I just felt...
Well, it was just never a thing for us, It's just never a real possibility.
Yeah, in 1980, whatever, I'm sure we knew what it was, but it wasn't something that was...
How many people were that you knew gay people?
Did we know any at school?
Not openly gay people.
No. They probably ended up, but yeah.
But not that we knew at the time or was even accepted to be out, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's just more, now it's just, 2018, it's just okay, completely. It just wasn't then, or it wasn't supposed to be. Anyway, whatever. So we are.
We could have a whole discussion for 2 hours on that subject.
We could. But they had to be Hollywood correct, I suppose, and they had to have him. Oh, he tried to be straight, but it just didn't.
No, I think he was just bi. I think it doesn't matter what he was. He is what he is, and he likes somebody. He likes somebody. If he likes
I do think they toned it down.
I think
the insanity. You know what I mean? Like the sheer midgets with cocaine and all of that.
Right. Yep. There was. We'll get to it. And we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Well, there was only 1 or 2 parties. Supposedly, it was a decade of just debauchery.
Yeah. Well, there was one. I think it was like Brian's birthday, and the party went on. I think that's what the party on the Miracle album. The party. The song.
It's based on that.
And a party went on for like a week. The party just went non-stop for a week. They had a guy who was naked underneath chopped liver whose brief was to twitch so that it made the chopped liver just like
shake a little bit.
Yeah, that was his job.
Well, that's stop bagging out my first job, Ed. Guy's got to do what a guy's got to do to earn a quid. Right. There we go.
They could go underneath chopped liver.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with the Roger guy's visual look up until this point. His acting was good. He seems like the little shit that Roger I could suspect was. But yeah, the Brian. Maybe I was just by comparison to the Brian guy. You know, that Brian guy should get an Academy Award.
Oh yeah, he was perfect. The voice, I just can't get over the voice.
I was even thinking, did Brian overdub the voice?
Yeah, and that's a lot of people have been saying. But, yeah, there's I'm a bit. I don't think the John guy looks 100%.
No, but and I don't even know if he acts 100% because no one knew what John was like.
Yeah,
but it is what we would assume John was like, just a bit of a goofball.
Yeah.
Yeah, not saying too much, and you know.
Correct. That's right. But here's another little issue with that suddenly Keep Yourself Alive. Keep Yourself Alive isn't really one of the early songs.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's obviously on the first album, but I don't think it would have been what they would have been playing when they first on the first song. Freddie's.
Yeah. So what would that have been? Probably doing all right.
Oh, probably just
some smiles,
songs and stuff. You know,
or a Mott the Hoople cover.
Yeah, well, or an Elvis cover, as they used to like to do, and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Dasvidanya.
Now, does that say a year later? Because I think it does.
My Russian's a bit rusty.
I think that says a year later right there. This based on the dodgy copy we're watching.
We're watching a Russian copy.
Eddie's bootleg dodginess.
A Russian cam copy, which somehow fell into my lap. I don't know where.
I wonder if you can get sued for this, Ed. Probably can. We've just admitted guilt.
We're just watching from our memory.
Yeah, from our memory. That's right, from our photographic memory.
We've had
I love how they got John changing the tyre. I know what John's thinking. He's probably had no creative input. He's saying, "You bastards."
That's right. It's probably the other three wouldn't change tyres, the other three bassists.
That's right.
Are you any good at changing tyres? Nope. See ya.
Oh, yeah, that's it. They sell the van. Oh, we'll find a way. We'll sell the van. And Roger's pissed. We're not selling the van, you dickhead. And they sell the van. That just goes to show, though, from the word go, Freddie took over as the dominant personality. Would you say that's fair and accurately portrayed? Because he was the Johnny come lately, and he's saying, "Sell the van, dickheads. We're doing this." You know.
Well, he always had the. I think what they're portraying is that he had the high vision. You know, that they're not just going to be a pub band. They're not just going to tour their local area. They're going to be an international success, and that's what they're really pointing out here.
And I suppose after a year, they've got time to figure out that this guy's got something that is irreplaceable, and drumming and guitaring, as incredible as the rest of Queen are, you could possibly recreate their talent.
Well, I think
you could never recreate Freddie's talent.
A year later, that they've toured around England, whatever they've done, they've made a bit of money. They've got their act together, and now
and the pecking order's been established, though. I would say.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, and they've got their stuff together. Now this bit here.
Did this weirdness happen? All this amp swinging and coins.
Well, it just goes to show that they did do a lot of experimental stuff over the years. It's sort of put into one spot. You know, this seems to be that they're recording their first album, where you hear Seven Seas of Rye with the words, which come off the second album.
Second album, yeah.
So you know, it's sort of a melange again to show us the sorts of just telling us.
Was that Seven Seas of Rye? Or was that Keep Yourself Alive again?
No, Seven Seas of Rye.
Western Marathon. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, of course it was. Yep. Because I'm sort of half listening to Eddie and Freddie.
So now they're saying, and the new name's Queen. So, you know, we're sort of
it's outrageous, baby.
And we're just in that early. They're just telling us, throwing it all at us.
After he's thrown
Take it how you will. It doesn't really matter. You know,
Mary Austin. He's thrown one
upper. He has.
Hey,
he has.
He's filled her out like an application, Ed.
Application form, correct. That's right.
How's that? The upside down Bohemian playing.
Yeah. Now this Freddie did have a piano built into his bedhead. I'm not sure whether he had it this early though. So that if he woke up in the middle of the night with an idea.
Could you do that though? Because I thought he was just playing. I thought he only learned piano around this time. So to be able to play it so well, you can play Bohemian Rhapsody like
I'm sure
Jimi Hendrix over your head.
Well, it's only your own little riff that you made up. You know, it's not. I'm pretty sure that. You know,
I'm no piano player, Ed, but
I know that.
doesn't mean. I mean, we're picking it to bits. Doesn't mean that I didn't nearly, beat one out myself in the movie theater when I saw him do it. If I wasn't sitting next to a couple, you just know.
Another drink, Glenn. Keep going.
Sorry. All right, so Adam.
This is so funny. This is funny. Like this. The way that they had...
the guy who's this is Freddie, and he goes, did he tell you he's an epic shag or whatever? Well, is her dad deaf, or is that do we know that?
I don't know. No, it's not.
Jesus, I think I needed to get your mate off Facebook.
James Rundle, go look him up. He's a legend. He is the legend.
James who? James Barber. I know him.
Rundle.
He played He played in the Queen show over here.
Jimmy
Barber. Look at Brian, mate. I just love the Brian guy. And what's his name? Steve Carell. Maxwell Smart there.
Right.
What's his character's name in The Office? I've never seen it.
No, I've never seen that. I've seen bits of it, but never sat and watched.
What's his name? What's the British guy in the other Office?
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais. Yeah, that's what we'll call him. Ricky Gervais.
Oh, gee. Now, obviously they didn't get Freddie to come back to life and sing Happy Birthday, or they didn't have a recording of Freddie to do it.
Yeah. So whoever they got to do this is...
Mark Martel is the guy. Mark Martel. So they had...
Credit to you. I tip my hat if I had one.
He's pretty good. Very good. Oh, he's
flawless. Flawless, yeah.
Just look him up later. And
you couldn't.
There's videos of him doing all sorts of stuff. He's like a Queen tribute guy sort of thing, but awesome, absolutely awesome. And the way that, they used Freddie's voice. They used some of Rami Malek, and they used a lot of Mark Martel.
So some of the dialogue is written, some of the spoken word is
for the singing, I mean.
Right. So the Rami Malek did some singing.
As far as I know, he did a bit of it. I don't think a lot of it, but it might just be.
So most of it was recordings of Freddie.
Either between Freddie, Mark Martel, and Rami Malek. That's
they
where
got through it. Yeah. Wow.
And but when you go and look up Mark Martel, he is.
Oh, and Roger hitting on Freddie's sister. What are you doing later? Now, tell me this. Did you ever think at any time that in these early ones, especially, Freddie looks a bit like Mick Jagger? The actor looks a bit like Mick Jagger?
I didn't hit me, but now you say it, I guess a little bit.
Yeah.
But
have a look at it.
Yeah, but I suppose that's probably what they looked like at the time. They're probably all dressed like in the same sort of gear.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just thought that he looked more like Mick Jagger than Freddie in a few of these early sets.
Yeah. Like you look at his teeth here. His teeth or his mouth around his teeth don't look as. It's like at some stages he hasn't got those, the false teeth in, or that he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even thought at a few stages that he looked too false teethy.
Yeah, like
he's put in the prosthetic, It's like, the actor's put in the prosthetic,
Yeah.
But he looked like an angry lizard. I loved it.
Yeah, it looks like a frilly lizard, doesn't it? Bit of a tip to the old Aussies. This is a guy from Game of Thrones. He's a great actor.
I knew the name. I've never watched him in Game of Thrones, but he's in other things.
Yeah,
he's got to be in something else. But You got a gift.
I can't remember his name. It's like some Welsh name
Now,
or something.
is he meant to be a hybrid character?
No, he's John Reed, who was their manager for some time. So
Right. And the grumpy bastard who says, you're the guy who've ditched Queen, he's a hybrid, is he, of all the execs that said fuck? Because I don't remember his name. Oh, the guy who did Dark Side of the Moon or whatever.
Oh, yeah. The Mike Myers character. The Mike Myers character is a melange, or supposed to be a melange of EMI executives.
Right. So he's not a dude who did Dark Side of the Moon and then said "fuck you" to Queen.
No. He was just a hybrid character.
I think. Yeah.
And it just like a lot of these things. Like I say, this is a 2 hour.
They've got to have a bad guy.
You could run this movie for 3 weeks and try and fit all these things in.
Yeah, you could. They should have done it. Should have been like Bodyline. Hey?
Series, goes.
Yeah, it should have been like Bodyline for the Aussie viewers, like Bodyline for the American viewers, like the Mike Tyson. No, not Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
What's the one who killed the white chick? O.J. Simpson. They did a movie that went for 10 hours or whatever. That's what they should have done with this. Just like Bohemian Rhapsody was 6 minutes and it should have been 3.
Yeah.
This movie should have been 10 hours and it should have been 2.
Yeah, well, that's right. We could have been watching
Same.
Series 10 of Bohemian Rhapsody, episode 4.
Same. But that's what I liked about that OJ thing. Not that I've watched it, and I probably should because I'm told it's very good. But it's a movie. It's not a series. It's a movie that goes for 10 hours. It's like Bodyline. It's a movie that goes for like whatever hours. Yeah. All right. So what are we up to? Where are we up to? I've been watching.
So we're playing Top of the Pops here. Top of the Pops.
They're pissed about lip syncing.
Yeah, they probably would have been told before they finally got to the studio. So it's another
this fight would have been,
yeah, that would have been in the back over the phone and whatever. But
I'm going to rave on this whole recording about how good the Brian May is.
Yeah. Well, this thing here, this part, like the Live Aid, apart from camera 2. Up a bit higher. But if you watch the Top of the Pops video of that
it's a recreation. Wow.
Yeah, a very faithful recreation. So they did a great job there. So, and they did all through very faithful to that sort of thing. Just on a lot of the music that's being played. The guitar that the Brian character plays is so authentic. It's like the guy was playing the guitar.
Well, it would have been the Brian licks, I'm sure, but he's syncing it up with it.
Yeah, well, you can see like when they get to the Bohemian Rhapsody bit, like he plays a couple of things, and then when it goes, blah, blah, blah,
well, did Brian play those bits?
No, well, when they show him,
when they're showing around, you reckon
like he's going like this, and no, because you see the whole Brian character, and he's playing those notes, but then when it gets to somewhere where just a mortal person couldn't play those things quick enough, well, then they sort of pan away and then they come back to it. But we'll get to that.
We will. What do we hear now? Has Freddie just thrown another one fair up, Mary? See, they're establishing his straight credentials.
Yeah, well,
they're making very clear that he was playing both ways so that it could be politically Hollywood correct for us heterosexual males need to identify.
I think that's how it went. I think he was swinging both ways, mate.
Yeah, I just think the ratio they're showing in this movie is very different to the ratio in real life,
Well, they're just not showing the others, I guess.
Yeah, they've just showed all of Mary and 1/1000th of the shenanigans, let's just say. Were they engaged? The ring thing.
But you saw earlier, like he was looking at the guy when he was going out to meet the band. He saw the guy there, and he sort of gave the guy a bit of a nod.
The first time I saw the nod was the truck stop.
Well, who was the trucker?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Well, tell me who the trucker is. You have to don't have a look up. Just have a good think.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can't think. I would never have picked it in a million years if somebody didn't tell me.
Oh, okay. No, I definitely didn't pick it. But and on the quality of this video, I won't be picking it tonight, no matter what.
This is what I looked at again. I thought, who's that?
No chance.
But you can if you know.
If you already know. You can if you already know. There you go. Mick Jagger's giving it to her. Mick Jagger's giving it to Jerry Hall. And the band walk in.
There's no Keith there.
Actually, did Mick and Freddie have a thing? No, Mick and Bowie had a thing.
Well, they had the most gayest video in history.
Yeah, no, Mick and Bowie had a thing, and Bowie and Freddie supposedly had a thing.
Yeah, well, the whole dancing in the streets video.
Yeah. Jerry Hall supposedly caught Mick and Bowie in bed together, supposedly.
Yeah, they're probably just writing lyrics or something.
Yeah, of course they were. Yeah, they were just churning out some lyrics.
Oh, just sharpening his pencil, love.
Oh, he looks like Neil off The Young Ones in that scene. Roger, look at him. Doesn't Roger look like Neil in The Young Ones right there?
I noticed someone looked like Neil, but...
That's right. Yeah. He looks like Neil off The Young Ones.
Yeah, you're spot on. Now,
Yeah, what's Fat Bottom Girls doing here being played now?
That's right. So, you know...
A little bit of artistic license, I would suggest.
Yeah. They're going to lose their artistic license if they keep doing this drunk shit.
Yeah.
And another thing there, they
so
pour
this
the
is the
beer
US
on it and they do the thing.
Yeah.
The drum with, you know, like I Want It All.
Yep.
Roger hated that. So maybe that's why he hates it, because they did it back then.
Okay.
I don't know, but that was the thing that he didn't like doing. He didn't like taping up his drums to make that flat sound.
Oh yeah.
He always wanted to, you know.
Boom. He always wanted Phil Collins.
He didn't like the Phil Collins thing. What was it? I'm not. Yeah, like that muffled. He didn't like that. No muffling. No, like that. Like that. Beer on his drums, sort of muffling, sort of thing. None of what.
Looks good though.
I'm no drummer, but there's a thing. I can't remember what it's called. There's a particular
Matt Farthing will know. He's watching. He'll put it in the comments.
What is it? It's a particular thing where they muffle it up and they get that. But there's a thing where they muffle it up and it doesn't go quieter. It goes louder or something. I can't remember what it is. Some sort of technique, style, or whatever they do.
Right.
Matt, you'll know what it is. Tell me what it is. Who's the guy?
There's the
Who is it?
Garth.
Yeah.
Dana Carvey.
No, someone very close to Queen.
Spike Edney.
No.
Shit.
Adam Lambert.
Really?
Adam Lambert.
There you go. I'm glad he got a spot in there.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got a spot, because Queen have really accepted him as one of their own, you know. Paul
Absolutely.
Rogers had a crack, and I'm a big Bad Company fan. I'm a big Paul Rogers fan. Met him. But Adam Lambert was the one who found a home with Queen. Paul just did some gigs, which were great. That Return of the Champions DVD, loved. But I'm glad Adam got a spot.
Yeah.
But you know what? I like how both of them never tried to be Freddie. It was never.
Well, they knew they couldn't. I don't think either of them would ever. They don't have that ego that they would. I'm going to.
But what I'm saying is, they didn't have the voice to try.
Oh, no.
They didn't try and replace Freddie with Mark. What's his name? Mark Teller. Yeah.
Mark
Martel. See, that would have made an accurate vocal sound-alike, like Journey did. Journey replaced Steve Perry with a guy who sounds like Steve Perry.
Wasn't that Asian guy, is it?
Yeah. And so Queen never tried to do that, and I think it worked better more in their favour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like In Excess with John Stevens. Doesn't sound that much like Michael Hutchence, but just great.
Well, it was better than, what was that other dude? Rocky.
Oh, yeah. The guy, was he off the reality TV show or something?
Yeah, wasn't he?
That didn't work.
Crazy.
All right, so what are we doing? Now, was Jim Beach called Miami?
Yes, Miami Beach. Miami.
See, there's Mike Myers. I did not recognise him till about 3/4 of the way through this scene.
I saw where it says at the start, Mike Myers.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't recognise him.
When I saw this, I thought, because I've seen him a few times recently. I actually saw a thing on him. He was on Colbert just the other day. And, geez, it was good. It was
have they said the line yet?
Halloween.
Oh, no, I don't think they have. Let me know, where's the line where they says, they'll never bang their heads in a car?
Yeah, no, that comes up later, I think. This is where they...
Spoilers.
This is where they talk about making a night at the opera. Then they go off and make a night at the opera. And then they come back and then they talk about Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right. That's right. This is where they sell him to go and do it.
Now, this guy here...
He says, don't make me look like a dude.
When I look at him, he looks like Jeff Lynne. You
He
remind me
does.
of
I
Jeff
knew he
Lynne.
looked like. I agree 1,000%. I was
And
sitting
I thought,
who do you look like?
you're not going to make Jeff Lynne be the bad guy. He's one of the nicest guys in rock and roll history. So, but I thought,
Look at Brian. See that Brian guy? I just heard him. I think that is Brian May. They've just
that is Jeff Lynne.
That's
Jeff Lynne.
Wayne playing Jeff Lynne.
But I think like it's a composite character of all those things. But I think a lot of it is also Norman Sheffield. That beep beep motherfucker.
The Death on Two Legs guy.
Yes.
It's got to be. Of course, it's got to be a lot of him on there because they're throwing shit through the window and
exactly. Yeah. So
that Brian guy, Academy Award, just give it to him. Send him an award.
Yeah.
Because the Freddie guy's got a look at the end, and a few of those mannerisms we'll, of course, talk about. But the Brian guy, the new, maybe it's just now spoilers or no, what is it? Humble brag that as two blokes who've met and spent some one-on-one time with Brian May, maybe that's just because, I don't know.
Because I've jumped on him before.
Yeah, you did. You wrapped Eddie, this man, have a look at the size of this man on screen with me.
Brian.
Wrapped his legs around Brian May's waist after. Here's how it went down. It went down, hi, Brian. And Brian said the first thing to us, you guys were working harder than I was when we went and saw him on stage because we knew every word to every song and it was magnificent. And Eddie.
We sung with him.
Absolutely. He handed us the microphone saying the show must go on, an entire verse, which was good. He says, when Eddie says, or one of us says, could we get a picture? And Brian says, you can do anything you want with me. So Eddie takes that to wrap his arms around his neck and his legs around his waist and jump on him. Complete legs around, arms around, legs off the ground and around Brian May's hips. Not a word of a lie.
Luckily, Brisbane has the best chiropractors in the world.
And luckily, Ed was a few kilos lighter and Brian was a few decades younger.
Luckily, the story went the right way.
Yeah, that was good. So
otherwise, I'd be in this.
What are we up to here? The guy who broke Brian May's back.
Brian killed Brian.
Oh, this is where they're sticking John in the basement saying, you get your ass downstairs in the basement. Small rooms are quicker to heat, John. Deeks.
Deeky.
Oh, geez. Okay, there's a little ad on top of the dialogue. That's nice.
But I don't think there was any dialogue there. It's all about Freddie just writing lyrics.
He has a little tear there.
I think it was all about.
I think he's writing Just Killed a Man. Oh, you think it's that?
I don't know.
I think it's just sometimes I wish I'd never been born at all. I think it could be. Yeah, I don't know why, but I thought, yeah, okay, you would get moved to tears if you're writing a song where the lyric is, sometimes I wish I'd never been born at all. That's the moving shit, man. But now here's Love of My Life, so maybe you're right.
No, because he's writing as he goes here, so maybe he was writing something else earlier.
Now, is this Peter Freestone?
No, this is Paul Prenter.
Tell me about Paul.
Well, Paul Prenter was, as most Queen fans would say, is the biggest prick in Queen history.
Oh, so he's the bastard one. Right. So who's Peter Freestone?
Peter Freestone was just another guy. I think he was just around the same later days, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then there was Jim Hutton, who was Freddie's
the dude, yeah. See, this guy here, I thought was Peter Freestone or whatever for some reason, because I never got his name because he was the bad guy. And then I saw in the credits, thanks to Peter Freestone, I thought, shit, they've made him out to be the arsehole villain.
Nah, Paul Prenter,
right. So he is the arsehole villain, rightly so.
Yeah. Well, he was Freddie's manager from about 80, 81 or something up through to about 85, where, in this show, we know what happens to him. He gets told to take the high road. And I don't know whether he was around at this stage, whether this is just a bit of just got to make the character, give him a bit of...
give him some screen time to hate him.
Yeah, well, just, develop the character and whatnot. He was only his manager, Freddie's personal manager, between 81 and 85. So I don't know whether he hung around
for a couple of years before to get to manager's spot,
Well, I don't know whether he was, he was with John Reed at this stage, and whether that was true or not, I don't know.
Oh, Paul, there you go. So, did he say Paul? So, what did you say his name was?
Paul Prenter.
Paul Prenter, yeah. And I want to talk to you, and we'll get to it, I'm sure, about the timing of the supposed 2-year break before Live Aid and how that was a comeback and all that. That didn't add up to me timeline-wise.
No, well, they had just done a big works tour. They just did the huge works tour. And that's why they were so good at Live Aid, is because they'd just come off 12 months of tour. And then this was on. It wasn't like, oh, I told them no, and now we've got to go and beg to get a spot. Okay.
So they needed the Act 3 of the movie.
That's right.
Because it didn't add up. How does Hammer to Fall, hence the Works tour, and Radio Gaga and all that fit into Live Aid, fit into a 2-year break?
Yeah, so...
I've got all this, as I'm watching it, I'm sitting there in awe with my jaw dropped, but then this little part of me is doing this Back to the Future maths, trying to figure out the timeline.
Well, you just saw Fat Bottom Girls there, like before Bohemian Rhapsody.
But I can handle that one because they needed to fit a big soundtrack into a movie. But when you're culminating the thing saying there's this, and I'm just saying, no, that's bullshit. They didn't. I mean, they fought, but they didn't just do that, and not them, you know? I keep wanting to leave, but they won't let me, darling.
Remember when we watched, when we saw Ready Player One? We read the book, the book's so great.
And it was totally different. Yeah.
Totally different.
Oh, there's Roger. Look, Roger getting the shits. See him throwing some shit.
What happened in the end of the book? Not the coffee machine. Remember at the end of the book, at the end of the movie, forget about how they did it, whether it was hit reverse in your car and go through, or whether it was talk to the lich or whatever it was. Which way they did it, they got to the right place in the end. That's where I see this movie. It was a fun ride on the way. May not have been the same as the book, may not have been the same as reality, but it tells a nice story and it comes to the end.
And it's based on the character we know. There's enough in it for the purist who knows, but the main thing is, of course, someone had to put money up for this, so someone needs to put, I believe the number was, this cost $52 million, so someone needs to make it a movie that is not just for Queen fans.
That's right. But, well, not for die-hard Queen fans.
Who can say, there was no break because the Works tour, whatever.
Yeah, well, what percentage of people that see this are going to say that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Greatest hits owners aren't going to say that.
Yeah. Now, speaking about greatest hits, I believe, I Want to Break Free is on Queen greatest hits.
Depends what sort of thing you have.
Little insider joke there, gang.
I've read up about a lot of that sort of stuff about who they were contracted to. Obviously, they weren't contracted to a whole global company, so that's why.
So there were some cities and some countries. Yeah.
Greatest Hits was different there because Capitol might release that, EMI release this one, and all sorts of different stuff. So, but in the end, they finally went to some, I think, Disney Universal or something that was.
So here we are at the recording session with Brian doing his. Just taking the piss.
There's Roy there.
Rory Gallagher. Why does that ring a bell?
Roy.
Who's Rory Gallagher?
Rory Gallagher is
the guy from.
No. Rory Gallagher is a guy, like an old blues guy, I think.
Okay.
From the
so Roy, who's the Roy?
Roy Thomas Baker.
Yep.
And he was the producer of this.
I love how they take the piss out of I'm in love with my car. I freaking love it. Yeah, awesome. That is epic.
And Sweet Lady. I'm in love with my car and Sweet Lady. That was just awesome.
Yeah. But it's true that their songs.
I love this bit. the rooster does the Galileo.
More Galileos.
Yeah. And that more Galileos was Roy Thomas Baker telling the story. I think it's from go and see or look for classic albums. You know that?
Oh
that
yeah, you know, I
series
watched
called
that. I
Classic
watched
Albums?
that. Where
Yeah,
they'd
the
go
Bohemian
up
Rhapsody
and
one.
they'd show the mix where they could play the faders.
Yeah. And the one about A Night at the Opera, I'm sure Roy Thomas Baker, he's like,
Yeah. Here, I've got some more Galileos.
yeah, and he said, oh, and Fred just said, let's get more Galileos in there. and so you can see that in how it's portrayed. Awesome. And
I kept waiting for him to bring the tape up to look through it.
Yeah.
The tape is now see-through.
Yeah.
Nobody loves me. And they didn't answer the age-old song that can John Deacon sing or not? The age-old rumour. Because he's in there singing. They didn't have the fight saying, but John, you can't sing, you twat.
Well, he's never given any lead singing things. And
John, you sound like bollocks.
And I think he's only put in there just for
No, he's only in there visually. In the liner notes, he's never in there as vocals.
That's right. He's just in there. Same
He's
as
just
you see
in there
on the bell
mouthing.
clips,
Mouthing. Yep. Here we go. Here's Garth, Wayne about to... Garth Algo. What was Wayne's? Wayne Campbell. Here's Wayne Campbell about to... Wayne Campbell, Jeff Lynne, about to shit on it. I'm not entirely sure that's the album you promised. Bohemian. Six bloody minutes. I thought they were going to play up the Kenny Everett drama a little more. Remember the story of he was forbidden and he played a bit of it. Then he said, no, I can't. Then he played a bit of it. He played it like 50 times during the weekend.
We'll get to that.
All that is Miller business.
Well,
let's go through the definitions. What do all these words mean, Eddie?
Well,
I asked you back in the day.
Well, Bismillah is what particularly Muslims say at the beginning of when they do something. It means in the name of Allah, in the name of God. So it might be it's when you say grace, you might say Bismillah, and that's why he knows it from his childhood, and that's why he's sort of there at the window, looking reflective or whatever. Scaramouche obviously was just a character, opera character type thing. Galilei, Galilei, the scientist, who knows?
Bohemian Rhapsody. You can hear it's Wayne there. You can hear it's Mike Myers there.
He's like fat bastard.
Yes. Yeah, MacArthur Park was 7 minutes long. There you go, Paul, you wanker.
Hey Jude was also 7 minutes long.
Yeah, that was after this.
Hey Jude.
Jude. When was Hey Jude?
Hey Jude, 1969.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, the Beatles, they broke up in 1969, 70.
Yeah, I don't know nothing from Beatles. I don't do Beatles. Dark Side of the Moon, they're getting up him, this hybrid character. Was there a connection with the producer of Pink Floyd who...
I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder if one of the people who shat on Night at the Opera was someone who was involved with Dark Side.
Could be.
Be interesting.
I don't know.
There you go. Put in the liner notes, gang. I'll send you a free call to view stubby cooler.
You can send the stubby that you owe me with it too.
You owe me. What's the bet on? I can't even remember again. What was the bet?
I can't remember.
We've got to remember the bet. I'll watch this recording. I'll be the second person other than Matt Farthing to watch it.
Get the views up.
There'll be two.
More views.
Me and Matt Farthing. You're the dickhead who lost Queen. Miami Beach walks out with him. See ya. See ya, Wayne. temperamental artists.
Oh, of course they are.
He looks a bit like Mike Willisey.
Him?
No, the other one. John Reed. Not Mike Willisey. Who's the guy with the round face?
Bert Newton.
Nah, not Bert Newton.
He's the one with the round face.
Yeah, no, there's another one. Anyway, doesn't matter. And to think I worked with Hendrix.
See, that's probably where it's just proves that it's just
well, we missed the line. So somewhere in there, they said they'll never bang their heads in a car, teenagers to this. I think Mike Myers had to be involved in that, you know.
Yeah. Well, on the Colbert interview that I saw, he said when they rang him up, they said, "Look, we're doing this. We want you to be in it." He said, "Yeah, okay. Just tell me where and when and what to wear."
Because it went to number one for the second time because of that movie, didn't it?
It went to number 2 in 1992 in England, in the United States.
No, but when Wayne's World was released,
when Wayne's World was released, 1992, it went to number 2.
Right.
Didn't go to number 1, went to number 2. Went to number 1 in England twice. Obviously, when it first released, another time when Freddie died, went to number 2 when in USA Wayne's World came around. It was some bullshit song. I can't even remember what song it was. It was some ridiculous song.
That was number 1.
Yeah.
And was this panned when it was first released, like all these critics are saying?
Well, I guess so.
Because it went to number 1, but was it panned?
It's like so many things in this world. Critics think one thing, the public thinks something else.
There you go. People could sync up with that. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, I think we're pretty close.
But critics pan it, but the people love it. So yeah, no, I'm with you.
In the pre-internet, Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we didn't have Rotten Tomatoes to tell us whether something's good or not.
That's right.
And even that doesn't work because bloody some of the stuff that gets great is, you know, no money. And then, you know, Last Jedi makes all the money and everyone hates it. So what are you going to do?
Well, everyone went and saw it.
You know, same as like Suicide Squad. All those things. Suicide, yeah, that's it. How else would they know to hate it? Like that Suicide Squad, all those DC ones, Batman vs. Superman, all that, they were all just hated, but they made $1 billion.
A lot of that sort of stuff, though, was made in China, though, too. A lot of that. But anyway, we can get onto a DC. We'll get the DC bloody superhero thread going later.
Look, there's Mick Jagger in a jumpsuit. Oh, I love that, though, with the gong. That was good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What album's Now I'm Here off?
Day at the Races. Jazz. Day at the Races. Jazz.
Jesus, Jazz. Eddie. I called you in here for a reason.
Pretty sure it's Jazz.
Yeah, I think it is. No, it's Sheer Heart Attack. It's off Sheer Heart Attack.
It's probably off Sheer Heart Attack.
God, what was I can't believe the miracle fan, the kind of Magic fan friggin' trumps the Queen 2 fan.
I didn't worry about it because I don't think too many people are making it to this far in the video.
Good point. Here's Freddie having a chat to Mary, but bragging on a chick. Oh, wait a minute, I've got to get my Queen cred. Give me a sec.
What's he doing? Who knows what he's doing? Here we are looking at Mary, telling Freddie this. Here we go. What do you got there, mate? Well, you can't hear me. There he goes.
I wish I could mount it somehow on the back, but I can't. All right.
I've got it mounted on me, mate.
So I wish I could somehow mount it somewhere up the back there. But
yeah, well, why isn't it up, mate? You should have had it hanging freely from
oh,
the
no, it
ceiling.
was. It was just on the wall up there, and there wasn't.
Well, you should have positioned yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Well, that's what you
so
do.
what did I miss?
Spend the day to prepare like you have.
So Freddie's not gay yet, but he's kicked out Paul's boyfriend.
Well, this is another thing.
What's this gig, by the way? What's this gig that's so big?
The biggest one that they did was in Sao Paulo.
City? No, okay.
No, Sun City was in South Africa, where they shouldn't have ever played. But and you won't see that in this movie, and we'll get to that later, I guess. But there was a 330, and they even say it correctly here. It was 330,000 something, or maybe not quite that many. It was the highest
when this Love of My Life thing, we'll get back to that. Hold that thought about the highest paying group. Tell me what it's been like when you've been in crowds multiple times while this has happened.
Oh, goosebumps! Just even now, like goosebumps. It's just
me too. They made a thing of it, didn't they? It happened once organically. They made a thing of it.
But everything, so much of what they do is
crowd interactive.
Yeah, it's just, and it makes you. Well, that's not one of Freddie's biggest things, is to get the crowd interacting. It makes every person in that crowd feel like he's looking at them. You know, he's seeing to them, and that's the power of his charisma.
Agreed. And when that happened there, I reckon, now depending on how this is dramatized or how real that moment was when he realized that Love of My Life being sung back to him word for word by people who don't speak the language, where the inspiration for interactive, anthemic, crowd-focused things.
I thought that was like, look,
that was handed to it? You don't think that was as...
Like when we get to the
Brian May bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that was meant for that. Like it was... I would be interested to find out whether that he thought that. You know, he thought, well, I'm just going to do something that, you know, rather
to get
than
the crowd in.
Yeah, rather than the crowd coming on board. Yeah, because I know that when they did Radio Gaga, and they
was that.
Well, because the only thing when they did it Live Aid, and they'd played it. Obviously, they'd just done a big tour of it.
Well, they did all that at the tour.
But the point was that when they played at Live Aid, they're not playing to a Queen audience. They're playing to a very mixed audience. Yet everybody did that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. There was hundreds of thousands saw that Magic tour, man. Everyone.
Well, Magic tour was later on. You mean the Works tour. But
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
But
yeah, you're right.
They were surprised that people just did that because it was, you know, people are there to see friggin' whoever, everyone, you know. But they're not there. They're not big Queen. They're not only Queen fans.
Yeah, no,
that's not a Queen crowd. Yet the whole 100,000 people there, or 85,000 or whatever there was, are just, you know, they're just.
You're gay, Fred. Get the ring off. Don't take it off. You promised. Even if I'll go with blokes, you just wear it. Now, there you go. Let's get back to the crowd in a minute. But tell me about Mary. Did she ever end up like the boyfriend? How was reality from whatever with regards to the Mary Austin character?
Well, as far as I know, that she was always just a good friend, always there for Freddie, even right to the end. Always just a good friend of Freddie's.
From the word go, or did it start romantically?
I think it started romantically, yeah, for sure.
Was Love of My Life written about her?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. Who knows?
Did Freddie write Love of My Life?
Yeah. And when Night at the Opera was released, at the time it was the most expensively produced album in history at the time. You know, harps.
As told by Wayne Campbell.
That's told by Wayne Campbell. It's all right, very expensive. It was the most expensive
and it's shit.
Yeah. And I don't know much about Mary as far as.
Did she live next door?
He look there again, Marlene Dietrich. That's the inspiration of that sort of thing, or that sort of thing. But that's a little bit different, you know. But that.
Right. So that there.
So I think he bought her a house next door to him.
It sounds familiar.
Like he provided for her and he looked after her and he, you know, did everything for her because he did love her and whatnot.
I don't know how real it was that it'll come up, but when he deos that dude in the clinic and the dude deos back, that was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's not true because he didn't find out that he had AIDS until after this movie finished. But
okay, so he found out after the Magic Tour, did he?
Yeah, 1987 he found out, so it wasn't in 1985.
So the Magic Tour was done, then he finds out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether it was. Well, it was 1987, and that was 6, 7. So
when was the Magic Tour? Those big ones.
1986 was kind of Magic album. So, you know, over the next 12 months, 7, yeah. I think I can't remember the date. There was a date. Well, after that, that was pretty much it. I think they played a gig at Nebworth, and that was the last gig.
Was that the helicopter one?
No. The inside sleeve of
Live Magic. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I don't know whether that was that exact gig, but
well, that was Nebworth Park. That photo's Nebworth Park.
Was it? I didn't know.
Absolutely.
But it could. Maybe it was. But
there's been
around that time.
There, Robbie Williams played a free one there. Actually, Queen, I think, was free. One of the Queen ones there was free.
Yeah,
early.
Yeah, that's right.
But Robbie Williams played one there, and it was freaking chockers.
The free one was organised by who?
By who?
Richard Branson.
Really?
Organised it. Correct.
Oh, look at that. Wait, look. See that there? That's Richard cutting off my tie. You can't see it. Oh, there you go.
Yes, we've all met Richard, mate.
For the uninitiated, me and Eddie have hung out with Richard Branson. Did he really organise that?
Yes, he organised that free one.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, there you go, Ed. That's why you're here. That's it.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. It's got nothing to do with your capacity to consume alcohol. It's got nothing to do with that.
Nothing. Charm, money, punning.
All right, so there's Freddie. Just you turn his light on and off. So Mary, come on, I'm lonely, bitch. He got narky with the bloke though, didn't he?
Which one?
What's he saying he wants? Wait a minute. Oh, he wants a party.
He wants a party.
He wants a party. Get me a party with strippers and midgets. Magicians. See, and Crazy Little Thing Called Love playing. All right, so there's the first. I reckon. There it is. The robe. Did he wear this early?
It was made for that Magic Tour.
Yeah.
Probably not.
He probably would have had a Superman.
Who knows? Maybe he had one in his closet made up for him.
And it was based on, and maybe the one in '86 was based on that. Yeah.
This get up here, he is the same thing he wears in one of the Mr. Bad Guy videos. Living on My Own, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
I might be living on my own. So he might have had it in the closet, made up for him. Probably they had him made for the video, and they made it for the tour, but you never know. He might have said, make me up a couple of special ones for my parties. Who knows?
They're all starting to look more like their more recent, more modern personas.
Yeah. But yeah, this Freddie looks awesome. Like,
as soon as he puts on the sunnies, the silvered sunnies. Oh,
yeah.
Like when he's standing there at the end for the Live Aid shots, and even when he's doing his little movements as he's posing for photos.
The mannerisms in the movie are perfect, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
Beyond perfect. They nailed it. Yeah. I tell you, this Paul dude, I want to punch him. Pooh face. Paul the Pooh Face, they need to call him.
Well, it comes up later, doesn't it, that he betrays Freddie and gives the media a good, sells out.
Yeah,
and that's why Queen.
That guy looks like Bob Geldof. That guy in the red jacket. Actually, the Bob Geldof guy.
Well, you see a lot of these ones here.
Yeah.
Like he had a lot of transsexuals and that there too. And I just saw a bloke maybe up the back there. See?
Yeah. That's got to be trans. Damn straight.
Well, I'm not.
Although that maybe the chick who played that. Maybe the woman says, "Damn it, you bastards!"
Yeah, she'll be on our feed here.
Yeah, you Aussie wankers. There's Jeffrey Rush in the background.
I do apologize.
Look, Jeffrey Rush talking the tranny. See that?
I do apologise if you're not love.
Well, there's only me and Matt Farthing watching this anyway.
Well, that's all right. That's all right.
When I
see that there's 4 views, I'll start worrying.
Yeah. Let's get shit-faced. See, that's more like it. Up on the shoulders, doing the thing. He does that every now and then.
Well, that was him.
Superman shirts on and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. But
I've seen Queen's greatest flicks, mate. I've seen Queen's greatest flicks.
Yeah.
This is where he grabs Jim Hutton's ass.
Yeah. Of course, Jim Hutton says that they met.
Jim Hutton says, stick it up.
They met the bar. I didn't mean that.
Yeah, I wondered about that, whether he was actually a bartender at his house.
Yeah. Does it really matter, I guess?
Touch me again, I'll smash you, you bastard. Then you know what? I really like that Freddie then, he was sort of arrogant doing the ass touching, but then he genuinely gets he becomes I've become very small. You remember that interview where he says that he's larger than life, but in real life he's very small?
Well, that's right. That's right. He's very shy. He's very lonely, very insecure person. Yet when he gets on stage, he's totally opposite. And
But when
that's what they do that very well. Yeah, they do that. They portray that side of him very well.
Very believably, and this actor did a great job.
Yeah.
Just even the voice of him talking, fuck. Because we've seen enough interviews that, like, if I said to you, hey, do a voice, like, it's easy to do an Elvis, right? You can just say, and you can do Elvis because it's so Elvisable, it's so impersonatable. But if I said to you, hey, do an impersonation of John Bon Jovi, like, you couldn't. Right? Because how do you do it?
Hey, man, I'm living on a prayer.
But you see there, my point exactly. You can't how do you impersonate someone if maybe they have to just find the actor that looks like him, but how do you find the actor that looks like him and
you just
listen.
You just got to be a good mimic, and you just got to listen.
Yeah.
And I think you can if you listen to someone long enough, but you got to you listen to people who can do a good Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Right?
So you don't, and what you got to do is you get the cowbell, and you need more of it. And
so talking about people who can do a good Christopher Walken, when you hear how they imitate Christopher, you can listen to the Christopher Walken and not get it, but then you can listen to someone who does Christopher Walken and then get it.
Yeah, you can impersonate the impersonator.
That's right, and they do. Yeah, so I don't know how that works, but sometimes you can do someone by doing it.
Yeah, Michael Spillane does a good Richie Benno by doing a good 12th Man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
For the one USA viewer that comes in, you'll have to Google 12th Man for that little reference. All right, so here's the We Will Rock You thing, Ed. Talk us through. Talk us through Brian talking about this. When you had your legs wrapped around Brian's waist, what did he tell you about the We Will Rock You creation?
Well, all I could feel was boom, 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 boom. It was more like Flash.
He fucking rocked you, mate, I tell you.
Because all I could feel was his heart thumping, thinking I'm about to die. And it was like
something bumping when you had your legs wrapped around his crotch.
And he was telling me to Flash. light was flashing before his eyes.
If you need a sinking spot, gang, what are you doing, you bastards? We're doing boop boop claps, Freddie.
So tell me how well we are synced.
I'm going. Do it.
No, it's all finished.
I'm a performer, darling. Sorry, I'm late.
Yeah, I know that, but I can only say it after he said it, so that's a lag anyway.
I want to give the audience a song they can perform.
Oh, well, must
be right?
A little bit off. But that's...
Actually, no, you can see. Oh, no, I can't. I was going to point the camera at the thing, but we can't do that. That'll be evidence.
Listen.
It's pretty close. Yeah, it's close enough. It's close enough for our discussion.
I thought we were pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close for the discussion.
But obviously this 1980 happened in 1977. But this might be 1980 where they play it in the, playing it in 1980, but obviously they
didn't write it.
Brian wrote the song 3 years earlier.
Yeah.
And
but then they're culminating up to the more
all this. Yeah, yep. But you see all those lights, very much like Live Killers.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Where was that filmed?
Oh, I don't know. Don't even know.
What tour? What was the last album?
Well, it was all around there.
It was after Day at the Races.
Yeah. And no.
What was the last album?
The Game, wasn't it?
Was it The Game? Okay. Was it Bites of Dust on Live Killers?
Flash. The Game, Flash.
80. It was 80-ish. 80-ish, 81-ish. Hot Space-ish. There was no body language in that, though.
Yeah, no.
It was before Hot Space, I reckon. So after The Game. Yeah, after The Game, before Hot Space.
Well, yeah, that's right. Because in 1981...
That was Hot Space.
1981 was Flash Gordon. Was 1981 Flash Gordon and Hot Space? They did two and...
They were around the same time. Yep. That would have been it. Yeah, because The Game was... Crazy Little Thing Called Love was there, and that was 79. So The Game
was released in 1979.
Yeah, 79,
and The Game was released in 1980. It was released as a single.
Yep.
That's correct.
Yep. So yeah, this could have been a live Killers-ish concert.
Well, you see Live Killers. Can you see that?
Oh shit, not well.
You can see that. You can see the lights though on the side.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Same lights.
Yeah, you're right. You're 1,000% right. Now, what's he saying? Oh, there's the AO, the first AO.
I'm not sure it's not a Galaxy.
But the first bit of the AO thing.
I'm sure that they did it earlier.
Yeah,
but
no. But on the movie.
Yeah. Paul working his magic.
Well, it is kind of.
Very good money, Penny. I should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers.
You know what? For all the Queen purists who I'm sure hate Mr. Bad Guy, you know what? Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow is one of my favourite songs. I mean, it's nothing compared to Queen, but I loved Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow.
I love Mr. Bad Guy. I think it has its place. It's not Queen, don't try and think of it as Queen.
No. But you know what? Here's a little bit of trivia, and I don't know if you even know this. I knew Freddie Mercury as the singer of I Was Born to Love You before I knew he was the lead singer of Queen. This is back literally when it was released in 1980 early. We're 9-10 years old or whatever it was, right? I knew of Freddie Mercury as the singer of Born to Love You because I saw the film clip on whatever Hot Clips was around 50 years ago, whatever it was. And here's the other weird thing. I knew Roger Daltrey was the singer of After the Fire before I realised that was the same lead singer as The Who.
What about Face to Face?
No, didn't know that. But although Pete Town, so Pete Town. But isn't that? I reckon I'm the only human in the world that knew Freddie Mercury as the solo performer and Roger Daltrey as the solo performer and not as their legend persona, there can't be very many that is the case for. Because of the sheer weight of tininess of their solo career versus the magnificence of their band personas.
Well, I didn't know at the time of Mr. Bad Guy, which was 1985. So you were like 13 or whatever it was. But we know how old Glenn is.
Yeah, okay, so we're 13. But just that film, for some reason, I was watching music, like top 10 music at the time. And I knew Freddie Mercury and I Was Born to Love You. And I didn't realize that was the Queen guy, you know?
Yeah.
And Roger Daltrey, the After the Fire guy. Weird, you know?
But I do know.
I look back and I think, that's impossible, but it's true.
Yeah, I do know that in We'll Rock You, it doesn't say we're going to get you some meat someday. I do know that.
Some beef someday.
Meat, beef.
We're going to get you some beef someday.
Someday.
All right, so what's he doing here with John Reid? What's he doing? Is he sacking him? This is where he's saying
they've given you heaps of money.
This is the offer. This is the offer.
He's told John Reid to go on.
That's right. And Paul throws John under the bus.
That's right. And then
pull over, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Get out. So how accurate is this? Did Freddie fire John over?
Very hard to say, I guess.
Who's Mac?
Well, Mac is the producer,
engineer. Later years.
Kind of magic onward.
Okay.
Maybe even the works, I think too. But we don't really get.
But John Reid did actually go away around this time.
John Reid was, I didn't know even. Well, I don't know where we're at now, about 1980 or something. I'm pretty sure that he did.
I wonder if it was over solo negotiations.
Is it around this time that they decided that they would take a more hands-on role and they would manage themselves more?
Okay.
And decide where the money would go. See, look at him here. How good is he in, obviously the shadows, but how good does he look as Freddie there?
Yeah. It's from now on that it starts to be uncanny.
Yeah. Just that sort of shade under the eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. In the early mustache shots, he was a bit younger looking and kind of, but it's from now on in the rest of the movie that it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
And it ain't just
that is 80s Freddie.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that.
Yeah, you're right about the shadow and all that. Have you ever seen the Paul dude? Does he look accurate?
Yeah, he's a bit more fat around the face.
The actor is, or the...
No, the real person.
Oh, yeah.
The real person is a bit easy, yeah.
There's
but it's pretty. It's the same sort of idea, I guess. You know, it's not a spitting image, but it's a good enough resemblance. You know, the in the end, the band used to complain that
he's fighting over the disco.
and this again, they fight about the disco, and I thought that he was going to play Body Language.
Which, had to, surely.
That's when he started playing the bass. I thought, Body Language.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it was set up for that, but it had to be the hit, didn't it? Had to be the hit.
But you know, to do that would like they could have done so much.
They could have just played a 5-second riff of it as fan service.
Yeah.
And then went into boom, boom.
Yeah, but that was earlier. This is later. This is one of those things we saw early that they're just rushing through those couple of albums, those couple of areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't mention Flash at all.
No,
they don't mention Under Pressure.
And that would have been they should have got a Bowie guy in, you know. But then supposedly that happened so quickly. Like that was literally just in a day.
They were there at the same time. They went out for dinner. They actually John worked the riff out. They went out for dinner and then they forgot the riff. Boom, 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 boom. How'd it go again? They obviously had a good dinner.
You had to go again.
Yeah, how's that going? And then they worked it out, remembered it, and then away they went.
That's quite good. Yeah, that's quite a cool riff, Brian.
Oh, that's really good. The funny thing about Another One Bites the Dust was that very popular in the United States, but with
the African American community.
That's right, and the blacks didn't realize that these are white guys singing it. They thought it was a black guy singing it, and that's
had to be with that bass line. Had to be with that bass line.
It was just so groovy, and so it was so popular.
Actually, when was Barcelona? That's a good point. That was after the fact, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was after all this. After
it was after the work. It was after retirement. Was it after A Kind of Magic?
Yeah.
Or was it? Was it after A Kind of Magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because obviously, well, yeah. But Crazy Little Thing Called Love and this song here were both number ones in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Little Thing Called Love was number one here in Australia.
And you say that as if many of the other, like, how many number ones were there? Because they were like, it was, wasn't it? Wait a minute, in the US, wasn't it just Innuendo and Bohemian Rhapsody, and really that was it in the UK?
No, a lot of songs were.
Wasn't there a big deal that said that Innuendo was the first number one since Bohemian Rhapsody?
Well, because Bohemian Rhapsody was no, because they had no.
So there was something about that, or maybe it was the biggest. I don't know. There was something about Innuendo.
It was the longest. It was the longest in time. Longest length. It was the longest length number one since Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
Because Innuendo went for 7 minutes or whatever. Bohemian Rhapsody went for 6. It was the longest since.
Yeah, they had one too few ooh-oohs in that. It went ooh, and then it should have been 3. Yeah. I know that. I just know that.
Yeah. Well, I reckon it should have went one more myself. And that's how I would have written it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, hot.
There it is. Here's where Freddie didn't want to do interviews anymore. Annoying fucks they are. What about your teeth, Freddie? Get them fixed. I wish they'd have, not that, I mean, this is just fan service, but it would have been great if they had have recreated that interview when he said, I'm just a musical prostitute. But like the more exposed interviews shown that would have been pretty cool. But then they needed to do this because it was just showed all the bastards and. Yeah, he gets into Rog there. How's that? Where he's sort of throwing Rog under the bus? That Rog must be shagging.
Now at the back there is a Hot Space behind him. Is a Hot Space album cover.
Oh, yeah, the album cover. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it's a Hot Space thing. So I guess
little Easter egg there from Eddie Barker. Well put. Well done.
They've had a bit of tension making the Hot Space album, which we sort of have gone through, and then suddenly we went into the game, and then we went off back to Hot Space style.
Yeah. Anyone want to talk about the album? Gotta love Brian. Good old musical astrophysicist Brian. I like that. What about the rumors concerning your lack of sexuality? He's into her. I want to Google if there's really a Shelley Stone or if she's a hybrid character. Shelley Stone Queen. Well, she's got a Facebook profile.
So do the other 200.
Nah. She's a bullshit character, Shelley Stone. Oh, Shelley Stern. Now, I only say that because it's from the IMDb cast list of Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, no, she ain't no real chick. Sacha Baron Cohen explains departure from Freddie Mercury biopic, though. There you go. Bit of AI going on there.
It's great that they recreated this too.
I love they did that.
Okay, watch out, Dingus.
Oh, there's Delilah. There's Eddie's own Delilah right there.
Say hello to everyone. All right, I'll see you later, Beast.
Beast. It's Delilah and you know it.
Hey? Genghis.
Actually, that God knows bit, I love that because Roger finally looks like Roger. Like a hot chick. And he gets all pissed that it's gay old Freddie wanting to dress in drag and it's Roger's idea.
That's right.
He sees about 1 million Jim Huttons in the phone book. That was funny.
Under Pressure was number 1.
Okay.
In the UK.
Doing a bit of fact checking.
Innuendo was the next number 1.
Mm-hmm. So do a bit of fact checking. Just put into Google Innuendo first number 1 since and see what it says.
Well, maybe because Bohemian Rhapsody was the first number 1 since Innuendo. Strike it, reverse it, mate.
Yeah, maybe. Nah, no, it was the other way around.
I'm sure you're thinking of the
and in that bit there is where Roger just looks like Roger. Finally.
Yeah, put some glasses on.
That's right. Put some sunnies on.
You'd be perfect.
Put some sunnies on. And Brian starts looking more like Brian. I loved it.
Now, John Deacon looks more like John Deacon.
He also looks a little bit like Bob Geldof. But yeah, you're right. Combination. Bob Geldof.
But you see, this here, where they decided not to tour, they decided not to tour.
That was after Magic.
No, they decided not to tour for a year, which is probably around here, where they decided to write, and then they
the works and all that.
The works.
Yeah. Got it.
So they decided not to tour for a year.
Yep. Okay.
And then they wrote the works. That was like 1983.
Yep. Now, is that when now we'll get to it when it shows all the cities they went, but I saw Perth and I saw Sydney in there. So that was the Australian tour, yeah, for the works, was it? Was that 83, 84?
No, what, earlier?
Well, you'll see when all those cities.
Yeah, that was like in the 70s.
That ages ago, was it? Right.
Yeah, that was in the 70s.
Because did they tour here for the works when Brian did that interview? You can bet your life. Remember when Brian said, next time we come, we'll do it right. Bet your life on that. Because they only did a few cities. And Brian said, next time we come, you can bet your life it'll be better. And they never came again. And when we caught up with him, we called him on it and said, oi, glad you didn't bet your life on that, huh?
Yeah, we'd own you. We'd be able to do anything with you.
We did. But yeah, so the last tour of Australia, I reckon it was the works, but they just didn't do.
It was the works. They did tour in the works, but on this, I think because they don't do any works tour on this show.
Right. So all of that, all those cities,
they take it now as though they don't tour.
Where was all the cities flying in? We must have been.
Yeah, that was early.
We must have been drinking.
That was after they just got started, after Night at the Opera and all that.
Okay.
And then now they take it. They don't tour until they do Live Aid again.
You'd be this is where he's getting into him. You'd be a dentist. You'd be an astrophysicist. And what are you, Deeks?
Now, how silly is that? How Deaky? I don't even know.
And Deaky? Nothing comes to mind.
Well, Deaky, because they obviously called him Deaky, but he as a electrical engineer or a student, I don't know whether he finished his degree or whatever, because I don't think a lot of them finished. Brian obviously finished only a couple of years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, and now went and finished his PhD. So obviously he would have done something earlier, but but so whether or not he finished, I don't know. But he made a couple of amps that they used,
Okay.
and they still they've been recreated in the last couple of years to give some obviously signature sound. But he made these ones. I don't know. I'm no amp man, but he made particular ones that did whatever they particularly do to give a particular sound. So he used that talent. So he would have known that. Here's a guy tweaking on amps all the time, and he would have known what he's into. I don't even know what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just. Oh, there's Mr. Bad Guy. That's right.
Yeah.
With Bob Geldof on the mixer. They all look like Bob Geldof.
This is great. It just makes it look crap, And it's
like Duran Duran of the musicians.
Yeah.
Much better album than they threw the album under the bus, and I don't like it.
Absolutely, they did.
I don't like it.
I can understand why they did it.
Well, they had to do it. Yeah, they had to poo-poo the solo and Hero, the whatever. But what was the one what they do with? Because none of them Michael Jackson. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's this duet with Michael Jackson they did?
Well, you've never heard the
No, I've heard it. What song was it though?
There Must Be More to Life Than This.
Must Be More to Life Than This. Yeah. So and then Freddie doing some shit with him on Thriller or whatever it was.
They did meet.
I could have been on Thriller.
That's right, yeah.
How much royalties did I lose for not being on Thriller? That'd be good. Throw a few Easter eggs in there with Michael Jackson. That'd be good. Well, supposedly, as reported today by Matt Farthing, he put a link on my thing saying the highest paid dead performer of the year. Well,
he sold a lot of his back catalogue was sold, which generated millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. He made 400 million or something, but there was like 250 million was made because
of a sale.
One-off sale.
Got it.
A one-off sale.
Got it.
Who
bought it? Paul McCartney?
I don't know, probably.
Hey, maybe Paul McCartney did a little turnabout his fair play move.
That's right. I can't own my own stuff, so I might as well own everyone else's.
No, I'll own the bastard who bought the Beatles. Because didn't Michael Jackson buy the Beatles back catalogue? So maybe Paul McCartney bought it back.
He sold it back, but didn't he?
I don't know.
He sold it back to him.
No idea.
I think they come to a compromise.
This terrible dream that something bad had happened. Yeah, you did, Mary. It's called cocaine, penises, bottoms, midgets, Michael Jackson, all sorts of craziness.
Bubbles.
Just bubbles, crazy. It's just everything,
That's
Mary.
Right.
Everything, Mary.
We got bored.
Have you still got your ring on? Because my ring's hurting, Mary.
we got bored, so we blew bubbles.
I nearly spat this everywhere. Just all over her. What about Queen, Mary? I agree. I tell you though, Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow. It's a winner.
Yeah, I love Mr. Bad Guy a whole lot.
Just that Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow. That really, I just love that song.
Well, have you heard the Michael Jackson one? Have you?
There Must Be More to Life Than This. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, no, just off that album, Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow. I don't know why. It's like off Billy Joel's album, Innocent Man. This Night is one of my favorite songs on that album. Wasn't a big hit, but I love it. And it's like on Mr. Bad Guy. I just love Lovely Like There's No Tomorrow,
Well, it wasn't half Beethoven, but anyway.
He self-confessed. I went and saw him at Madison Square Garden, and Billy Joel played This Night. I was losing my shit. And he even said, I borrowed the chorus from this. No. I stole the chorus from this, from Ludwig von Beethoven. And so it was. If you can YouTube it, so you can YouTube February 2016 Madison Square Gardens This Night, and you'll find the performance that I was in the audience for, and Billy admits stealing it from Ludwig von Beethoven. So great gig, I tell you. If you do anything before you die, Billy plays MSG, Madison Square Garden, like you and I used to play the City View Hotel. He considers it his residency, and he plays once a month, and he's been doing it for years. And he said, I will play this residency once a month until you guys stop coming. And he's been doing it for years. Sorry, Ed, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. It was one of the best. I mean, you and I have seen Billy Joel how many times? Like 3 times in Australia? Maybe.
I've seen Billy more than that. I've seen probably 4 or 5.
Yeah. Did we ever see him with Elton?
No. No.
I'm sure we did, because I remember when we met him, he said, yeah, Elton pissed off to Sydney, so you can't meet him or something.
We didn't see him. No.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I go with Grant Dalzell to see him. Anyway, back to the Freddie pick. So there you go. Madison Square Garden, 2016. Check it out this night. So what's going on here with Mary and Freddie?
Well, there's tension here. If you're not going to...
She's saying about Paul. She's throwing Paul
Well, you see, this year she's gone to his house.
Oh, she went to Munich to bring him home.
Well, it's probably Montreux in Switzerland where he had a house and he had a studio. But he did record that in Munich, but it's probably a little bit...
Yeah, hybrid-y or whatever, yeah. In the movie, I think they said it was Munich. So she's gone...
They did come up with a thing, Munich, yeah.
He doesn't come home, but he's going back to break up with Wanker here, so...
Yeah. But regardless, it was, and then he suddenly clicked about Paul Prenter.
Yep.
And what he's brought to his life. And he's told him to sod off. And it was 1984 or 5, I think, where he did tell him to sod off.
When was Mr. Bad Guy?
1985 was released.
Right, so recording in full.
Okay.
Look at that. Talk to the hand, darling.
So it'd be interesting to actually find out how that timeline actually works, because you've got the works in 1984.
Yeah, and then Mr. Bad Guy.
You've got Mr. Bad Guy in 1985. What's Mr. Bad Guy's? What time in 1985? I wonder.
But you know what? Maybe.
Maybe
he recorded that real quick.
Well, he got 12 months. He got 12 months of works tour, which pretty much leads into Live Aid. So you take out Live Aid. So he might have recorded it and then it didn't get
released.
Another recording and then it's had producing stuff.
Yeah.
While he's off doing Queen stuff, and then it's come out a bit later.
Yeah, but I mean, we may dramatize how long these things take. Like if you literally put in a 12-hour day, you could do a song a day, especially if you're not entirely happy with it. You got pro musicians, even if it's not like you could do a song a day and churn out Mr. Bad Guy.
Well, at least a song a week, 3 months.
Yeah, you could do it in a month or two. Absolutely. Yeah.
So a few months, 3 months, that you're in a country, you do it.
Is that Under Pressure there?
3 months.
There you go. There's Under Pressure. What are you whinging about, biatch? Didn't mean it. Didn't mean it, Fred. There you go.
Kiss it better. He said make it better, but and he would have said kiss it better.
Yeah, I bet he's a manipulator. I love how they paint him as a bad guy, though. They need a bad guy,
Yeah, well, he died of AIDS too.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
What time?
Did we even see Kenny Everett?
Yeah. No, we did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we were just talking. But yeah, we did see Kenny Everett, and it was
Kenny Everett also died of AIDS.
Okay, so that's why he played that bloody song so many times. He was paid in services rendered long and hard. Yeah, no, we did see that bit, but it was so short. It wasn't. Yeah. They could have really made that drama that clearly was in reality. That would have been a great weekend to be listening to the radio and play that drama.
Well, he played it 14 times over the 2 days.
I think it was more than that.
It was 14.
Was it 14? Okay. But there were bits. There were
Yeah,
bits
he played bits and said, oh, my fingers have slipped.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have played that. And it was all sorts of little.
I wonder if there's a
little played
YouTube compilation of all the bits.
Oh, I doubt that people would have been sitting on record.
Well, they have Opie and Anthony. They have this comedy duo, Opie and Anthony from Ye Olde Worldy, and they've got all the bits. But admittedly, it was in an internet era, not in the 80s, or 70s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, so there's Miami. I want to talk to the boys. So this is all the bullshit that they had to make for a movie.
Yeah.
We're family. I wonder if that was the case. I keep wanting to leave, but they won't let me.
Yes.
There's all these rumors. There's rumors about this band called Queen, and the rumors are that we're going to split up. What do you think? Oh shit! They're talking from here. I keep wanting to leave, but they won't let me. I hung my hat on that when he was saying they want to split up and that. I hung my hat on that. No, they're not going nowhere. I've only just come to this party and they're saying they want to split up. You bastards. I've just fallen in love with them and there's rumors of splitting up. So when he said that, I was like, no, they're not going nowhere.
Nah.
And then The Miracle comes out in, 89?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, The Miracle comes out in 89. I'm like, yeah, see?
22nd of May, 1989.
Yep, it was good. Pissed there was no tour, but what are you going to do?
There again at the
They're
background,
late.
you see Hot Space.
Oh, yeah.
That gold record behind him there.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Hi, Brian May, looking like
we
son
did
of a
see him
bitch.
with Sonny's on.
Let's have a look.
He had Sonny's on when he walked. Then now he's taken them off.
Ah, Roger, put it back on for God's sake. See, look at that Brian, man. I'm just freaking out how good that Brian guy looks. And the voice. I want to contact that actor and just say you're a genius. That's it. Just want to send him a message. Just say you're a genius.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an arsehole. Yeah, I'm having to strip on my shirt and flatulate myself. Is that what he says?
Flagellate. Whip yourself. Like self-flagellation is whipping yourself.
Okay.
Like monks do to
Okay, see? Now I've been educated.
Flagellation.
I've been educated by Eddie here. It's good.
Again.
By Eddie/Freddie. I would love it if this was based on reality, that in some fight Brian said, Freddie, leave the room for a moment and fuck off. And he says, why'd you do that? I don't know.
Well, that's like a modern day thing, isn't it?
Yeah, where he says here, the band, I told the band what to do and they did it. And that was the problem.
Yeah.
You know? That he's incomplete without Queen. I wonder if that's because this dude isn't there to speak for himself now, and the remaining members of Queen produced this movie, and he's almost saying that he is incomplete without Queen. That when it's his vision, the musicians did exactly what he wanted on Mr. Bad Guy, and it didn't work.
Well, how does it stack up logically? And well, it's probably right, isn't it? You know, that he didn't get the great success when it was just him.
Yeah, but then what did they do with the posthumous albums? They went and pulled them apart and replaced the guitar parts of all his bits. They went and put their guitar bits on, Mr. Bad Guy and all those songs. I Was Born to Love You and all that.
Yeah.
And now they're Queen songs. They're on Queen's greatest hits, bloody anthologies and shit. So. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
But a lot of those things they didn't just take the Mr. Bad Guy masters and then just go and say, well, we're just, going to screw you down, Freddie.
Well, didn't they? I mean, what happened there?
Well, a lot of them were takes that he'd done, outtakes and whatnot. And well, I don't know, maybe they were a lot with just by himself.
Oh, some of them, those vocals, like Living on My Own was the vocals from Mr. Bad Guy, and they just put in Queen shit. And what's the other ones they did on Queen's Greatest Hits 3 and shit, and Queen Ultimate Anthology? They did so many covers.
Made in Heaven and stuff.
Yeah, Made in Heaven. We're Born to Love You. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Bad Guy itself. I mean, they sound great with the multi-layered Brian May-ish guitars. They sound magnificent, you know.
Well, that's probably why they did it, because it sounds magnificent.
So they're talking about Live Aid here.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was convincing him to do it, or if they just knew the minute it was in. We're in, Bob, my man. But it's true. I mean, everyone was there. You watched a couple of weeks ago. I watched the entirety of Live Aid maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a gig and a half. No one's ever pulled anything off like that. Even the Live 8s later, the Live 8, however long later, it was good. But Live Aid was just world-changing.
It was, even the...
Phil Collins, REO Speedwagon. Look at the lineup that they just say. It's everyone.
It is everyone. But the thing is with all of these Live Aid people, you get play, 3, 4, 5 songs or something.
No, they all got 20 minutes. All the icons, the Pink Floyds and all of that, they all got...
So they play half a dozen songs.
Yeah.
They don't go and practice for it. They think, I'm only playing half a dozen songs here. I'll just get out and I'll play it. Queen practiced for it.
So they nailed their 20 minutes.
They down pat.
Boom.
They did I'm only playing half of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not going to go backstage and do my thing.
That if they played all of Bohemian Rhapsody, they would have to not play We Are the Champion.
Well, that's right. They had it all worked out. This is what I'm doing. Bang,
This gets a bit pointed here, doesn't it? Especially with the Brian May version of Who Wants to Live Forever.
Who Wants to Live Forever on an album that hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah. This is just the score. This ain't supposed to be. This is just the movie score. That's why it's Brian singing.
Is this Gwillem singing, maybe?
Who?
That's the Brian guy.
Oh, the Brian guy. Okay. Yeah, no, that's our Brian. I loved the version of this with a squillion times more. I wish Brian had sung the whenever they performed this, why didn't Brian do the vocals for his bit, It's a beautiful duet between the two of them.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And if Yup would always say, I just like the Brian May songs and all that, but not the recent ones, only the old ones. That was the bit on the big screen. When I saw that, I nearly just shat when he puts on the glasses and just fuck. It was good movie making, that right there.
It was.
It was moving.
Fortunately, he didn't find out till 2 years later.
Yeah. And that's the thing. At this moment, I didn't know when, Fuck. That looks so good. Yeah, that was cool. Whoever directed this, take a bow, my friend.
Brian Singer.
Was it Brian Singer?
Brian Singer.
He did the X-Men. X-Men director did this. I did not know.
Did you do any prep for this thing?
I watched it.
Obviously.
I watched it. All right, hammer to fall. Shush.
Oh, no. But he hasn't got the voice.
Damn it, Freddie. Come on. You sound like Eddie after a night on the grog.
The karaoke version.
Yeah, the karaoke. Don't talk about that. There are people world over, me included, just who love Queen, who try to sing other shit and heaven forbid every now and then used to get paid for it, who just cannot do bullshit Queen despite their love for it because he's impossible to do, including songs like Hammer to Fall that I fucking love. It's just impossible to sing.
You'll have to bring it down 3 steps or something.
More than 3 steps, I can promise you. There ain't that many frets on a guitar. I'd have to bring it down 3 guitars.
Tune it down till the strings are just wobbling.
Floppy. Yeah, the strings are like this.
Just play the backing track.
Messed up. So it's a very moving moment, but you're right that, you know what? It shouldn't, you know what? We shouldn't let the fact that the timing is wrong affect the fact that there was a time when he had to tell the guys, and this would have been the 4 of them just, sharing this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know whether you'd tell him like that, though.
But it had to go in the movie. It had to go in the movie.
I know.
And he would have told them as a group. He would have.
Well, why? But...
Well, why not? Like, how's he going to decide? Do I tell Brian first, or do I tell?
Yeah, but I've got it. Oh, what do you got? What are you talking about?
Well, no, but back then there was it was the big, the Grim Reaper ads and.
Well, Grim Reaper ads weren't on then, mate.
But the gay man's disease, there was all the story about it.
I'm sure there was all the story about it, but.
You're a legend, Fred. He goes, yeah, I am. I reckon this is pretty accurate. I reckon they would have accurately reproduced the closest they could remember to how he told them.
No, I reckon it's all done for dramatic.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
It's open here, mate.
But you know what? It was his behaviour, though, that we did see matched what he said here. Don't tell anyone shit. And let's make music till the day I die.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
he went and did it.
Yep. That's right. And that
he went and fucking made music till the day he fucking died.
I'm sure they've said that. They've said that that he said he was just going to keep going. And even in innuendo takes, when he couldn't do I can't even remember the song, but one of the last songs.
These Are the Days of Our Lives. These Are the Days of Our Lives was one of the last ones they filmed.
They filmed, but I don't think it was a film clip, but I think it was whatever it was.
Delilah or...
No.
No, that was probably first. All right, before we do any of this epic shit, I want my cat song.
But whatever it was, he said...
Look at Bob, who we've met as well. How much does he look like Bob? Elton? Maybe, but
yeah.
Bob looks like Bob.
Yes, I remember that Bob Geldof concert. I got a smashed face.
I saw him twice. Is that because I grabbed a chick's bottom?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Let's just censor it then. But I did something.
You did grab something that wasn't her bottom.
Oh my God, I'm sure I didn't grab that. Do you know how many Jim Huttons are in the phone book?
Yes. But whatever that last song was, yeah. Brian says, I didn't think he could keep going. Wow. And he said, just give me a shot of vodka. And then he just went out and then he just smashed it out in one take and they took it, bang. And then there was one he said, I just can't continue. We'll get back to it next time. And then they did. And then so they had to go and do the final verse.
Wow.
Make up the final verse and then yeah.
Was that on the Innuendo album?
No, that was on
like No One But You, or no, he didn't
no.
Like a posthumous song though. Like no, what's the one because
it's called posthumous, mate. They call it posthumous, not posthumous.
I don't even
posthumous.
know.
But anyway, yeah, I think it was on. It was like Mother Love or something on Mother Love.
Okay. Or Too Much Love Will Kill You because he covered that.
Yeah, but Mother Love. But he did Too Much Love Will Kill You earlier. Like that was just one that was sitting in the archive somewhere. Mother Love.
What album was that on? Was that on Innuendo?
Made in Heaven. So that was like 3/4 complete.
Right.
And then they had to go back and complete it for him, you know.
Okay. I tell you, I teared up here.
Yeah.
I teared up here big time. I'm glad I was by myself. I was a blubbering mess right there with Mum. There's the hot sister that Roger was hitting on when she was 12. I'll blow you a kiss. Now, have you checked Live Aid? Does he do that?
I don't think so. Turn on the telly, love.
Yeah, turn on the telly. Yeah, I got to tell you about a plan I had. I did a few VR games, and here's me giving away the idea that'll make $1 million. I'll give it away right now. I did a few VR games. My kid got, Calvin got some VR action, and we did some awesome stuff, right? There's some great games. The Batman VR is incredible. And it was while I was in the Batcave, and you literally feel like you're in the Batcave. Like, it's incredible, that Batman VR game. Mm-hmm. And I thought, imagine if they had a game, virtual reality, you put the headset on, you can go and stand in the audience live at Wembley, complete virtual reality and see that 21 minutes of Queen, and you can walk up on stage and see all of that and jump on a microphone and sing with Queen while they sing in that 21 minutes. How good would that virtual reality game be? What would you pay for that? If they could get that experience accurate, would you pay $500 for that virtual reality ride, so to speak?
No.
I'd in a heartbeat pay it. Take my $500.
Well, you see, isn't that what cameramen do?
Take my $500.
Well,
take my $500.
Why would you want to stand in a crowd when you can be watching?
No, stand in the crowd, but the option in the VR world is you can walk up on stage and stand on a microphone, look over to your right and see Brian May winking at you next to Freddie. Fuck, just take my $500. Take the $500. Take it.
Yeah, that would probably be good.
Because in that VR world, in that Batman thing, it is so realistic they could do it. Right now, they have the technological capacity to make that experience, and I would pay $500.
Would it be affordable, though?
Well, not at $500, but that's the thing. If they can make the Batman game for $100 as a PlayStation thing, they could make that for $100. I would fly to the UK to Wembley Stadium to go into their VR suite and pay $500 for it. I may be one of you, but I would do it.
All of your ideas and things like this are all instant. They're all from the gut. Great. Passionate. I love it.
Like, imagine if all of this was recreated in a VR experience. Oh, my God.
What would be the replay value?
I'd probably pay $100 for it and do it again. You know how you go to Movie World and you can pay $10 to go back the next day?
So a 20-minute gig, you'd watch twice. So 40 minutes, you would happily pay $200 for a 40-minute experience.
Yeah, I'd pay another $100 to do it again. And I'd pay another $100 for a DVD of the whole thing.
Paying you too much.
Yeah, I must admit I've wasted a bit of money lately. Here they go. The greatest 21 minutes in movie history.
There's no big pause in Live Aid that I watched.
No, there's not. Doesn't matter. But look at it. Look at it. Hey, they recreated it. I know the beers are accurate and the Pepsis.
Yeah. That's all right.
And I love the put it on, like they got the nuances.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't think it's the exact take. It's the same cadence, but I don't think it's the exact take.
No. Well, it's not, because when we watch it over the next 10 minutes, it's a 20-minute gig that only goes.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, but it's slightly different. I reckon if you played it side by side, you would see differences. Like there's bits like that bit before where he goes, whatever he says, where he cuts it short. They nail it and they copy it, but I don't think it's the same take. But I reckon they've got to have bits that are.
Yeah, well, they just have bits that are. They just have lots of bits that are. Like they have the guy and the couple of guys up in the rigging there behind them.
They're the same. Yeah.
And you do see them in
the original.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of But what it is a lot of like we're close up here. When you see it, he's doing the truth, yet they're panned out in
for sure, miles away. Yeah. It's a wide shot. Unbelievable, man. And recreating the stage and the brown red special. The red special's never red anymore. It's brown.
Yeah. Well, they specifically made these guitars for each period to make them, even down to like
red special's always the same red special.
No, even down to like little different pieces of bridge and other different pieces that's slightly added in, and they're accurate. They're like 100%.
I love this bit where he's just nailing all of that shit. Far out. Jeez, he did a good job. Maybe we make a bigger deal of how easy it is to mimic some steps. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe a choreographer would say, you wankers, anyone can mock.
Well, hang on. They had a choreographer to do this. They weren't happy with it. They had a movement coach then come in.
Wow. Well, the movement coach deserved his fee because this
choreographer wasn't enough. They had to the movement coach
deserved a 10x pay rise because this is the bit that I like. The deacon, the movement coach nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So whatever you're saying there rings so true.
They weren't happy with how it was going early. We gotta fix this, and to get bump.
That movement coach deserves his weight in beer.
The thing I wish that they had done is that they just left 20 minutes and did the whole thing. To play
the whole thing, yeah.
They did the whole thing.
That's fan service, though, but I agree with you. As fans.
Yeah.
But that shot there from the stage with...
yeah. That's everybody did.
Man.
But that's what I'm saying is these aren't just Queen fans here.
Yeah.
These are a mixed audience of everyone.
There's Miami Beach doing it as well.
Yeah. Yet the whole stadium knows to do that.
Yeah.
And it's and Brian was saying that it was so crazy because they'd just done a tour of it, but
notice they didn't have the Roger Harmony. That
only happens in the live.
Yeah, in the Live Aid. Yeah, the Magic Tour. The Magic Tour.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, but that bit, the movement coach. We need to find out the name of the movement coach to pay him his proper homage. Is that at Mum's dad? Was that at Mum and Dad's house?
I think so. Or was that the Cats? Did we see the Cats?
Yeah, it might have been. It might have been.
Now, do you see that one?
Is that from the original footage?
No. That note is described as the note that was heard around the world.
Oh, shit. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
And look at Brian at Lassan. Can you believe this shit?
Yeah. And that was the whole that was where they after Live Aid they said that was the note that was heard around the world.
Yeah, it's true.
In like the post Live Aid rap.
Yeah, they're right. They're right. Bob.
Bobby.
Bank your money, Bob. Well done, sir. I always had a soft spot for Hammer to Fall. I mean, they released it as a single, but it wasn't a giant single, was it?
No, it wasn't huge, no.
It was one of my favourites, and when they played it, obviously way after the fact that I looked back on Live Aid as a Johnny-come-lately fan, I'm just so glad it got included in the greatest 21 minutes of music ever, you know?
Absolutely. But they'd just done a big tour.
They've just done the works, yeah.
And James Rundle, as I said earlier, the biggest Queen fan ever, he was saying, because he does a lot of Queen videos, how to play this, how to play that, and he said, watching this, he's amazed at how note for note
the actors are.
Brian is playing the right notes.
Yeah, wow. Well, if they went to the accuracy of Freddie's nuanced movement body performances, getting the right frets on a guitar probably shouldn't be geniusly.
But, well,
you know, I don't know.
To do it right, though, although that would be something you could easily gloss over and not worry too much about.
True.
Because who knows about it, you know?
But so too could Freddie's nuances, because I remember some of the nuanced movements that he made. And I'm thinking, fuck. It was like when I went and saw Michael Jackson live, it was scary how close that man put to his live performance, that you were watching film clips up on a stage that you remembered from 1983, you know? It was incredible. And that's the thing. That's why Freddie Mercury, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, you know, Frank Sinatra will go down in history as these icons because of that, you know? They even simulated the fuck-up burnout, which that burnout is not perfect, and they did it.
Yeah.
They didn't perfect the burnout.
Yeah.
They kept the fuck-up burnout. Yeah. I love it.
And like he looks through his legs there. In the real one, you see it from an angle. You don't see it like right up his ass.
Right.
From an angle, but he's doing that.
Yeah.
He's doing that. But you see it from
We Will Rock You. I'm sure We Will Rock You was in the original, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I'm sure it finished with Rock You, We Are the Champions. So let's just go. Let's access Google.
Hit it.
Live Aid Queen set. Let's see it. Queen concert set list at Live Aid. Here it is. At setlist.fm.
Yep, best one ever.
Bohemian Rhapsody, Gaga, vocal improvisation. That would be Ayo.
That's it.
Hammer to Fall. Crazy Little Thing Called Love. They didn't put that in.
Yeah.
Did he say this is for all you lovely, shitty people out there?
No, he just said...
We Will Rock You, first verse and chorus only. And then We Are the Champions. So there you go. And now, a little bit of trivia. What did they play later in the gig?
They played Is This the World We Created?
Very good, Eddie. That's why you're here.
But every recording that is on
And at what time?
I would say 9:30.
9:48 p.m., Eddie, and that is why you're here. You got it within 20 minutes. Take a bow, sir. Take a bow. Holy shit. I cannot believe you said that. I cannot believe. What time did they play the main set?
Late afternoon, 4:50.
Okay, 6:40.
4:50 our time.
And I love how he stands up, grabs the broken mic. Are we watching the right version of this movie? Because I don't remember seeing that at the start.
Not worried.
All right, I'll be back for the debrief because I cannot not go to the toilet.
We are the champions. How poignant. And there's Mary, all proud, all loving Freddie. But look at the crowd just rocking, swaying, loving Jim Hutton, adoring. We've got the whole lot there. The crowd absolutely screaming, yelling, loving Queen. And Queen stole the show. Absolutely stole the show of the world. You can't get any better than that. The absolute greatest 22 minutes in rock and roll history. Look at all those people, all adoring. They weren't a Queen crowd. They were there for everyone. For all the other, there were Dire Straits fans there. There were Genesis fans there. There were everyone. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, man, I missed the best little nuanced Freddie bits.
Oh, don't worry. They were there.
Anyway, wait a minute. Wrong ears.
Not too bad ears.
It was those bits there at the end, those little Freddie-isms.
Oh, just
the body coach. Yeah, all that, the body coach. And the world. You're not going to believe this, but while I was in the dunny, over the back, I mean, seriously, I couldn't have made this up, but I promise you, Ed, on everything that I hold dear.
There he is.
They were over the back. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or is that Jim Hutton?
No, that's Jim Hutton.
Over the back, they were singing literally Bohemian Rhapsody. I promise you. Party over the back. They were singing the words out loud of Bohemian Rhapsody. I promise you. I wish I'd have had proof. I wish I could have taken my phone.
I believe you. I believe you.
Unbelievable, mate.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
That's how powerful it is, mate.
So there's the Don't Stop Me Now outro with the live footage of Live Aid. There it is. The amazing cast and crew that made, what a freaking journey they made for us all. Oh, and our official
That was
copy,
a little bit truncated, mate.
Our official copy has finished. So
yes.
All right. Yes. So in that, wow. So now at the end, did you sit through the credits? Because I sat there mesmerized.
Oh, the whole cinema, like I was in a lounge.
Yeah, didn't move.
Nobody moved until it was even like the end. The lights come on, everybody's still sitting there, and somebody says, "Is there any more?"
Yeah, I wanted to, and I couldn't do it because I was by myself, and I should have. I wanted to just stand up as Show Must Go On was playing and just give a standing ovation. I wanted to. I should have done it. I feel weak and cowardly that I didn't. I literally do. I feel weak and cowardly that I didn't stand up and give a standing ovation.
Well, you need to go back and do it again, mate.
I do. But they won't be as full of cinema again. You know what I mean? They won't be as full of cinema. But anyway, it was great. I judge everyone that was in that cinema with me as well. Why didn't you get up? If one person had got up, I'd have been with you. I'd have backed you up. And I bet you there's someone else saying, Glenn, if you'd have got up, I'd have got up.
I would have got up, yeah.
If anyone would have had that attitude, Ed, we never would have met Brian May. If you had that attitude, we wouldn't have met Brian May.
We wouldn't have.
You were braver, sir.
Wow, I was probably just pissed.
Well, what are you going to do? Yeah, it's true. If I was this pissed, I'd have been saying, yeah, man, the champions. So with all that, the bit that I missed when I held out as long as I could, I had to go to the dunny. How good were those Freddie-isms at the end there?
Absolutely. The whole Live Aid, what they did in Live Aid was just absolutely, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I've never seen anything that we know what it looks like in real life.
Yeah. We've got the video there.
Yeah.
We've got it there from different perspectives, different angles, that's what makes it so good. We see it going over here. You know, we see it from over there. It is like the 3D. Not the VR.
That's what I'm saying. The VR, they could make it.
The VR, that's right.
And instead of getting $12 from me for like they did with the movie, they would get $500 from me.
That's right.
Take my money.
Exactly right. They could take so much.
Bryan Singer. I didn't know that. Bryan Singer. So he did X-Men. I know he was an X-Men guy, but what else did he do? Let's have a look. Bryan Singer, see? So, yeah, you did do your research. Okay? Bryan Singer. What else did he do? He definitely did. He's an X-Men boy. I know that. Oh, sexual abuse allegations. Come on, Brian. All right, let's go past the Weinstein effect. Oh my God. All right, so X-Men is Star Trek Nemesis Ed. There you go.
That was one of my favorites.
Star Trek Nemesis.
It was critically panned.
Well, speaking of critically panned, Superman Returns.
Oh dear.
Sequel,
third time's a charm.
Yeah, but I liked it. That's the problem, because it was a sequel. Weird little bit of trivia. It was a sequel to the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2.
Mm.
Right? Imagine doing a sequel to the Richard Donner cut, which was released however long, 20 years after the real Superman 2. That's what Superman Returns was a sequel to, where Superman actually shagged Lois and had the kid and all of that, you know? So, yeah, Superman Returns, the one they did, that Bryan Singer did in 2005, whatever it was a sequel to the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2. That is the weirdest, freakiest shit you'd ever want to hear. But it was not a sequel to the one we saw as kids. It was a sequel to what Richard Donner envisaged, that they eventually did, that they pieced together with screen tests in some cases, because there is a Richard Donner version of Superman 2.
I think one scene is just cartoons.
No, it's not. No. It's not cartoons, but it's not good. Well, it's close, though, because...
It's like my video on here.
No, but some of the spaceship blowing up stuff is very rough. Right? Because here's what was going on in that is, we should do one of these for Superman 2, is... you know how in Superman 2 they do the Paris, the bomb, and that's the bomb that blows up the Phantom Zone? In the original, it was the nuclear weapons at the end of Superman 1 that released them from the Phantom Zone that set up Superman 2. And the turning back of the world was the end and culmination of Superman 2's finale, not 1. So, it all...
so what version was that? What?
So Richard Donner got sacked after he'd filmed 3/4 of Superman 2 at the same time as Superman 1. Every scene of Gene Hackman in Superman 2 was directed by Richard Donner. Now, the credits on Superman 2 was Richard Lester. And after they sacked Richard Donner 4/5 of the way through Superman 2, effectively after primary shooting, they sacked Richard Donner. With Richard Donner walks Gene Hackman, who would not do another thing, and Marlon Brando. Like, you know how at the start of Superman 2, the chick goes, as keeper of the archives of Krypton, it's become my job to tell you all the bullshit rather than Dad, right? The mum. Because Marlon Brando said screw you. When they said screw you to Donner, they said screw you to Brando. So in the Richard Donner version of Superman 2, which you should get on DVD Blu-ray, everything that you hear Superman's mum saying, you hear better shit from Marlon Brando as Jor-El saying, fuck, it's good. It's good. Right?
I'll look at that later.
Real good. Yeah. So
I don't know
how to do any of that, man. But yeah, so there you go. So Superman Returns, directed by Bryan Singer, who directed Bohemian Rhapsody, did direct a sequel to the Richard Donner's version that no one's seen except us crazy fucks. There you go. So what else? He directed the X-Men movie, of course. X-Men First Class. So he directed X-Men X2, X-Men First Class, which was very, very good. X-Men
and the upcoming movie X-Women.
Yeah, no, there ain't no X-Women, mate.
isn't it?
No, there's
I thought it must have been in this day and age.
no, but he did a few. He did
Gotta be
X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, the most recent one, and Bohemian Rhapsody. So there you go. He did a bit. He did a bit. There you go. All right. So that's that. Bohemian Rhapsody.
yeah,
How do we
Bryan
wrap that up, Ed?
Well,
Bryan Singer, take a bow, sir. Whatever you did with your movement coaches and the recreation of Wembley Stadium, I wonder if that's as difficult as recreating the frickin' X-Men world. You know what I mean? What he did to I reckon it's harder to recreate something that we know exactly what it has to look like. You know what I mean? Than some fictional world, we know exactly what that has to look like. And it looked perfect to me. I wasn't there, you know.
the whole thing about this movie is that they've got an endpoint. They've pivoted around. They've pivoted the whole thing around the live aid performance.
Around the greatest moment in music history.
Correct. Let's not mix words here. They've just picked the best bit, and they said, "All right, this is where we're going to end up at.
Yep.
What do we need to do to
let's start there and end there."
That's right. And let's just make that a focus point. How do we get there? What can we add in along the way that pays tribute to these four blokes, or to this one bloke and these four blokes in total? And that's exactly what they did. They told the story. Wasn't all accurate. That doesn't matter, you know. These movies, whether you go and watch Patton, whether you go and watch Malcolm X movie or whatever, I'm sure these things are all made. The last King of Scotland, you know.
This one here, that Rudy, right? I know from firsthand that he talks about the differences and the differential between how it really happened and how.
That's right. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. You know, what they're trying to tell is a story in the end. The way they tell that story, the way they get there, isn't really important to the finer details of things. You know, let things be a little bit out of place. You know, I don't think anyone's going to really worry about that. The thing that I love, and I'm on a couple of groups and through Facebook and other places where you see people complain about Adam Lambert. Oh, he's trying to be Freddie. He's not trying to be Freddie.
No.
Oh, but Freddie's the only one, and things like that. As far as I'm concerned, and those types of things, is that they're promoting Queen. If Queen's albums go up the charts because of these people, if people go and grab their greatest hits out and they listen to it, that for me as a Queen fan is a win. You know, if people go and buy more Queen albums, that is a win. If more people are listening to Queen because Adam Lambert's out there singing their songs, that's a win. But
what would you rather? Would they rather Brian and Roger sit around?
Drift off into mediocrity.
Just sit at home with John Deacon and Brian can look at the stars and Roger can...
They would.
Roger.
That's exactly what they would like, because they would just think, okay, we've got the set. We've got exactly what all they want. That's it. They don't care.
Fuck them.
But for me, any type of advertising for a brand that I love and adore is fantastic. So this I totally thumbs up, because I just love the fact that how many people are going to learn so much more about Queen.
Absolutely.
How much more people are going to hear those songs. The soundtrack will just be absolutely magnificent. How good would that be?
Once again, Bohemian Rhapsody will be number one.
Yeah, exactly.
For the fourth time.
Exactly. But even in the UK where it's been released, all these albums are leaping up through the charts again.
Bet your ass they are.
And that to me is fantastic. As a Queen fan, that is... I can't ask for anything else. I think that's absolutely...
But what was the Queen... See, I went and saw it a couple of times and me and you got thrown out of it at least once.
Only once. I only got thrown out. And it wasn't because of me.
Yeah, no.
Little boys.
Well, but, you know, so what was the universal take on the We Will Rock You musical? as
absolutely
written.
same thing.
Was it panned by purists?
I don't think so. Like I don't know what.
No,
what
I
you
don't
call
mean
a
your take.
purist.
I mean the
Um,
Sooks. Did the Sooks go, Did they have a good old Sook, or were they okay with it?
I don't really know because I wasn't part of those groups around the times
Okay.
that really it made a mark.
Oh, you
But,
can't go and do that because Freddie
yeah,
didn't sing it and an actor
yeah,
had to.
that's right.
Well,
Yeah,
bad luck, you
yeah,
fucks.
exactly right.
Rather it not exist.
I'm sure going by their attitude to things that I've seen, then yes, I would say that they probably did not like that.
Well, at least some of them would have had criticism. I'm sure it's just so they can talk.
Well, some people do need just to whinge to survive in life.
I mean, I understand the need to talk because look at us. We're sitting here doing an unauthorized, unasked for, completely like no one wants to see this. Probably no one will, because we don't mind talking about something we love. But are we the positive equivalent of these ones who want to talk just to pan and just to bag?
Well,
Like,
I don't.
We've done nothing but say this is fucking awesome, other than say, hey, Fat Bottom Girls was a couple of years early, but good job for putting it in there because we used to play it at gigs,
Well, maybe I don't really know, but I like what I like, and I like this, People can pan it and not like it, but as far as I'm concerned, I only talk for myself. And as far as I'm concerned, anytime that there's a positive promotion of Queen's music, Queen's work, I'm just totally 100% supportive of it. Even if, as we've seen, as we've gone through, that there are small errors in it, I can easily forgive that, as there are in any biopic, whatever you want to call it. There is always.
Is that like posthumous and posthumous?
Well, probably. One of them's right, one of them's wrong. Posthumous is wrong.
No, let me ask you this.
Posthumous talks about my compost heap.
Let me ask you this. You introduced me to Queen, and I'm forever indebted for that. Tell me about what either you would guess or you already know what the man who introduced you to Queen does think or would think about this. Because I'm forever indebted to you, but I know that the man who introduced you to this is your brother, Andrew Barker. What's Yubbut going to think about this, or does he think about this?
I don't think he does think about it. I don't think that he would care
he
too
wouldn't
much
see
about it.
He hasn't seen it. Oh, you don't know.
I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't run out and see it. I'm certain he wouldn't run out and see it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that.
Because he knows as much about Queen, but is that Queen fandom faded in him and not in you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mine always grew. His was like, I would say probably, I don't know, maybe a product of his time, and at the time, okay, that was a thing to be into.
And he certainly prides himself of his knowledge of the early days, and certainly he's the antithesis of me, because you know,
but that
innuendo and the works as I do, and as much about Sheer Heart Attack, despite early recordings that you forgot early in the piece of this, but you know as much about the early days as he does. You're kind of the both of us, but he certainly knew his way around a frickin' jazz album.
Well, he's probably more Queen 1.
Queen 2. He'll tell you Queen 2. Wait a minute. He'll tell you that he's shitting himself about Queen 2.
Here I am, a walking Queen 2 album.
Yeah. He'll tell you about the nuances of the 7 Seas of Rye differential between Queen 1 and Queen 2 and the Great King Rat fucking whatever.
On the first album, yes. But look, I don't think he's ever kept up with it. I don't think he's ever, I think since he's been married, I don't think he really listens to a lot of
women. Bloody women. They do it, hey?
That's right. When he was a single boy, he was all into his music.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he has a lot of time to listen now. But he's
music, poker, all the good stuff. Well, all that goes out the window with women, hey?
That's exactly right.
As Burgess Meredith once said in Rocky 2, women weaken legs. That's Burgess Meredith in Batman 76. That's Burgess Meredith as a penguin.
Yeah, so
we should put a bow on it. That was good.
Yeah.
That was just good in every way.
It was.
Well,
It was.
I love your improvement, and I hope that one day we see the director's cut, the Bryan Singer director's cut, Ed, where they do what you suggest, where they left 21 minutes and 42 seconds, including the 3 minutes for Is This World We Created later in the night.
But I think it was raining at the time.
I don't know. I don't remember. I'm going to go watch it now.
Oh, you don't remember? You weren't even there, mate.
I don't remember the rain. No, I don't remember the rain there or otherwise.
Yeah.
I was too mesmerized. Because that song at the end of the last song on the works, that song Is the World We Created. I really liked that song. I really loved the Works album. Even Machines Back to Humans, even that.
Get your guitar out and start your finger picking, and I think you can get it pretty quick.
Yeah, no, bullshit, I can. If I had have ever done it, I would have done that one back when I knew how to play guitar. But I love that song.
Have a quick look at it.
But what's interesting, I loved that album, and when they played that song, I was stoked. But you know what? I wonder how that song would stack up lyrically now. You know what I mean? Like, because that song was written in a world where we'd done some fucked up shit to the world. Well, we've done more fucked up shit to the world. That ain't got much better, And
that's exactly right. Nothing's changed, mate.
Yeah. So, when he says, if there's a God looking down, what would he think of what we've done to the world that he created? Fuck,
That's all right. Just like Zager and Evans.
Who is Zager and Evans?
Zager and Evans. They're famous song. Not fantastic, but famous song. In the world, in the year 2525. Is that what the song?
In the year of 39, we assembled here the volunteers, and they came home that day. Not that one.
In the year 2525. What's that song? In the year.
You got me on that one.
What? I'm sure you've heard it.
In the year of 39, assembled here the volunteers. In the day, where was that one on the soundtrack of Bohemian Rhapsody?
Oh,
guys,
been there.
Jesus, I love that song about space travel and shit. So Brian says, I don't even know what it's about.
Time travel. Well, the further you go away, the slower time is for the quicker time is for you,
and the slower it is for the people staying. Yeah.
Well, the other way around.
It slows down for us.
Drags out for them. So they're only away for 100 years. They come back
at thousands of years later. Yeah. Like what's its name? The Planet of the Apes action.
Yeah, that's right. No.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes. He goes away for 100. He comes back and they fucked it up.
Yeah, but how long does he wait for?
Like 100 years to him and 1,000 years to the apes on Earth. It's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're saying. Tell me about this 25-25.
Well, in that, I thought you knew the song.
Don't know. Who sang it?
Zager and Evans.
Yeah, I have no idea who.
I'm sure it's a 70s song, 80s, 60s.
Yeah, no, it's like MacArthur Park, 7 minutes. I'm with Paul not Paul Freestone, Paul Fernando. Paul the Pufter. I don't like Paul the Pufter. He's a fuck.
You've heard this song before. Here we go. Did you hear that properly?
This is not good work, Eddie. Yeah, I can hear it. Unfortunately, loud and clear. Yeah, loud and unfortunately clear. Yeah, no, you can keep that one.
And it goes through all the years.
You know what? Turn it off, but I don't think I've ever heard the song, but I think I've heard you fuckers drunk as a skunk singing it at a poker game.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, what about it? So what about it?
Well, it talks all about, in the year 4510, like rather than 2018, it's 4510 that will just be like test tubes around, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
that's what man will become evolved to. And then one part of it says talks about God, and if God doesn't like it, well, he would have just started it all again. Just cleared the slate and started again.
How many times has that happened? I mean, God knows,
Well, he probably does, because he probably keeps a tally.
Well, there's talk of look, supposedly they found some culture in the Congo or some shit. I know I'm speaking completely out of turn because I have no idea. But supposedly they found some culture, some civilization that had some seriously advanced shit that was just totally buried. But you got to wonder, how long would it take if some earth-shattering meteor came along that just literally destroyed everything iPhone and just covered it all in dust for a couple of 1,000 years? And it all had to start again. How many times might that have happened?
There's a theory there. I think it was Carl Sagan who put the theory is of why we haven't found life outside of our planet. Why
is that it would take too long, so it would have to be electronic by definition?
No. There's a few things. One of them is that life doesn't last long. Yep. So how long have we been around?
Yeah.
How long is intelligent?
Yeah. Not long enough to make.
It's able to contact people.
Yep.
Going the distance. So is it inherent that intelligent life kills itself off? So how long have we been able to do it?
Yeah.
100 years. 100 years.
Yeah.
And then in the next 100 years,
20,000 years, we've even been sentient in some way, shape, or form.
Well, but even so, we've only been able to contact ourselves or to send out a signal such that
for 100, out of the whole millions.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever. Yeah. And then there's the other one that's saying that.
But you go further than that and you say, well, how long will we last? Is it the fact that what you can see the way that our Earth goes, that in 100 years, is there a big chance that we'll just pop ourselves off with a few nuclear bombs and then start it all again? We can't send that signal anymore.
Correct. Yeah. Well, and if you listen to Elon, have you listened to any of the Elon Musk things? I mean, this guy's no dummy. He's saying he's already given up. You see that thing a month ago on Joe Rogan? He's already done his bit to try and convince Obama, convince the world leaders, convince every fucker that we're fucked. And he's already resigned himself to the fact that we're fucked.
Yeah.
You see that? Now, if there was some freak in Alabama that said, we're all gone, no, we got no, then I would not be worried in the slightest. But when Elon Musk, and I looked in his eyes, when he has resigned himself to the fact that, oh, well, I tried, it's over, that scares the fuck out of me.
Well, absolutely. Like you can, don't want to get political, but I don't want to.
I don't want to, but it's too late.
But all I'm saying is that you can just see, there's no, you put Star Trek, right, with the utopian, all the whole human under one banner, everyone working together, all that sort of stuff. There's no way that that's going to happen. There's no way that that's going to happen anytime soon. That suddenly we just put down all our
stop currency, currency.
Yeah, no currency. Forget about
what's the currency in Deep Space Nine? What's the currency in Deep Space Nine? The Ferengi.
Triangle things.
No, what do the Ferengi always want? Not Dumas. No, not Dumas. The Ferengi, Quark's always saying, give me Krugerrats or whatever. I can't remember.
I can't remember all that.
It's there's no currency in Star Trek world, but tell that to Quark.
Yeah. But you can see that there's not going to be, we could probably go to Mars tomorrow, but there's
no reason to. That's what they say. Give us a reason. If China, that's what someone said, Elon or someone, or who knows, someone said, if China made a declaration, we're going to Mars, the USA would be there within a year. Absolutely.
That's absolutely.
Fucking true.
That's exactly why they went to the moon.
Yeah, that's the fact
we
that
will go to the moon in this decade.
But the fact that it's been left up to private,
it's hard.
Yeah, the fact that it's been left up to private enterprise to say we're going to Mars is incredible. It never works that way. It's always government does it first, then private enterprise decides whether it's profitable to duplicate the process, you know? It's crazy that SpaceX and Branson's like Virgin Galactic and SpaceX and all of that are going to be the first private space fuckers. That, well, like we were there when Branson said, he said to us, one-on-one with us, well, to a group of us, who wants to come with me to Mars? End quote.
Yeah.
He said that to the crowd that you were in.
Yeah.
Who wants to come with me to... No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I lie. I've had too much to drink. Who wants to come with me to space? That's what he said.
That's right.
Fuck. Private enterprise, a company. You can own a company. I can own a company. He does. And he's ready to take us all to space. We live in strange times, Ed.
But the problem is that there is so much that we could do to do the things that Freddie talks about in the world. Is this the world we created?
Yeah.
To fix those things. But there's too much greed in the world. And while there's money to be made on things and own personal gain to be made on things, there will never be collaboration and things. And well, maybe at some stage it'll just be all, I need too much of this and you need too much of that, and then that's how wars start. And then
I wonder if what it would take, and this is getting fucking deep, but I wonder if, see, back at high school, right? And let's go back, because, you know, me and you go back to, 1980, whatever, 5-ish, whatever grade 9 was. Back then, if you and I were ever, like, we might be wrestling in my front yard, right? Me and you might be wrestling mano a mano in my front yard. But if some dickhead from 4 houses away came along and pissed us off, me and you would be side by side fighting him, right?
Correct.
But if someone came from Bremer High School, me, you, and that dickhead who we were fighting 20 minutes ago would be side by side fighting the dude from Bremer. And the more we've lived our lives, the more the us has extended to others, right? The state of origin, Queensland versus New South Wales, the Australians versus other countries, or in New Zealand, right? They're fuckers because they're the sheep fucking fuckers. But if an American comes and pisses off a Kiwi, we're the Anzacs and we're the fucking, whatever. And so would it take some threat from out there for the world to stop acting so fucked up and be side by side, just the same as you, me, would be arm on arm and the fucker down the road? Is that what it would take?
I don't reckon it would. I don't reckon even that would do it. I reckon it would be you're sitting in your house, there's some fucking guy, Hell's Angel bikie, swinging his machine gun. You're sitting in your house, you just run and hide. He's shooting up the next door neighbour. He's shooting them up big time. You would just run and hide thinking, well, let him shoot the next door neighbour up. He's not shooting me. And that's...
you know what? No, you know what? I mean, I get what you're saying, but...
It's not going to be Independence Day, mate.
But there's enough fuckers, percentage-wise, who would go and tackle the machine gun motherfucker. Percentage-wise, out of every 100, there'd be 8 that would go and tackle, and that's all you need is those 8.
If it was aliens or something, then I reckon there would.
I reckon that's the only way we'll ever cooperate globally.
But if it was like the Russians hacking New Zealand, then everyone would run to their aid.
Fuck yes.
But if it was the aliens attacking New Zealand, what do you think the Americans would do?
The world would fucking arm in arm. I know it. But arm in arm. Anyway, so there's the way we drunkenly finish off the Bohemian Rhapsody fucking
All right.
the voiceover that wasn't asked for. It wasn't requested, and we thought we'd do it.
We give it anyway. That's right.
The commentary track, the commentary tricks. That's the worst. That is the worst title ever.
That is.
So anyway, so in hindsight, is this the world we created? What did we do it for? Is this the world we invaded against the law? Well, it's not against the law. We've done all right. But in the end...
But it seems in the end...
It does seem that way. Is this what we're all living for?
Today?
The world that we created. Here's to you, Ed. Thanks for sticking around, my man. That was fun. What's the next one? What are we going to do?
Well,
what's another movie that kind of synonymously sums up our history that we can talk as intelligently or lack thereof? What about, would Star Wars work? Star Wars?
I'm sure we could do some sort of thing.
Have a think about what we could do. I'm going to float Star Wars.
I should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. But no, then the only thing we want to really talk about is that line. You know, when I fell in love with that line, it wasn't even, I mean, I liked it when I watched the movie. It was when I played the pinball machine. When I played the pinball machine and Sean Connery said I should have mailed it to the Marx. I nearly cried laughing. He wouldn't have sent it. He wouldn't be stupid enough to carry it on him, would he? You didn't, did you? You did. I should have mailed it to the Marx. Oh, that is a great line. Well, we got to think of a better one to go to than going straight from our debut bad effort with Queen to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah, we could do something else. We'll just have to think about it.
Have a think about it, but I'm thinking if nothing else comes to mind, I reckon Star Wars, because at least we can talk shit about that and we know a little bit about it, you know? So, anyway, all right. So, there you go. Let's see how many views we get on this fucker, Ed. Until next time, gang.
Adieu.
Right, for now.
To you and you.
What is that off?
That's from a little movie called